Talk Radio, 610 WIOD presents the Neil Rogers Show. To get in touch and talk with Neil, dial 751 WIOD from Dave. In Broward, it's 524 WIOD. Outside the 305 area code, toll free 1-800-944-WIOD. And Bell South Mobility customers make a free call by dialing star IOD. The opinions expressed by the guests, host, or callers are not necessarily those of this station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio, 610 WIOD.
It might not be as bad as everyone thinks.
Springtime is here, so I'm cleaning my kitchen. I have to mop under my Frigidaire. I sweep up big dust balls and a couple of magnets. I'm always grossed out by the things under there. The more that I clean, well, the stuff it gets weirder. My grandma's old dentures, some green pizza crust, the hamster that I lost way back in the 60s. He's decomposing and he's turning to dust. And I don't want to clean down there. It's time to get 'em made. Got to buy some rubber gloves so my hands don't smell that way. And I don't want to clean down there. Here come the bugs my way, coming at me big and loud. I hear the roaches say, "Leave us alone down here. We like the stinking smell. Drop the food away. This ain't no roach motel. Leave us alone down here. We like the stinking smell. Drop the food away. This ain't no roach motel."
He was his ward, not his pedophile.
10:07 at WIOD. Happy Monday, man. Hallelujah. Oh, God. That's all I can say.
Oh, God.
Right. Amen. Let's all just sit around and pray a while. How the hell did I make it? How am I here? And like the whole room is spinning before my eyes. Where do I start? Where do I start? Who the hell needs calls? Who the hell needs anything? Although we do have a mobile in Fort Lauderdale.
Welcome back.
Would you like to be our first call on the day of my first day on my black and blue wedding?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
We missed you.
I got a black and blue spot the size of Montana, like
You
my
all
whole
right?
right side.
You all right?
Am I all right?
Yeah, you took it easy at home.
Am I all right compared to what? Compared to like Elvis? Yeah, I feel better than he does.
That's great. I just wanted to welcome you back. We all miss you, I'm sure, the tens of thousands of other
Thank you so much.
And we're glad to have you back.
And have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, wasn't that nice, huh? Speaking of nice, thanks to the people at Ticket Defense Team sent me a nice plant. Randy Maltosh and all those guys. People at Calder Race Course sent me a beautiful plant. The people at Pompano Park sent me a huge fruit basket from Exotic Gardens, and the people at Exotic Gardens got so excited about that the drivers and the other people over there sent me a plant, a really nice one, too, which I appreciate. So thanks to Exotic Gardens. And who am I leaving out? See, I shouldn't have started doing this. This is embarrassing because there was like a whole bunch of crap. I mean, nice stuff. Oh, geez, this is bad because I'm going to leave out about 3 or 4 people that took the time to send me plants and stuff. I mentioned Calder, right? Who did I leave out? I should have made a little list, shouldn't I? Crap. Well, let me look up and down the log here. Maybe it'll rekindle some memories. Then I'll point out the ones who didn't send anything. Yeah, thanks a lot to those people who didn't do a damn thing. Like, of course, I could mention the management of this radio station. I don't want to mention them.
That's my opinion. I'm Mike Disney.
Yeah. Not a card, not a call, not a letter, not a flower, not a pansy, not a anything. Nothing. Are you alive? Is there anything we can do? Nothing. Zero. Zippity-doo-dah. Nothing. I know that most of you feel that I'm making it up, that nobody in this audience can believe such heartless and mindless, because I went through hell. I mean, this has been a rough 10 days. Everybody thought, hey, it's a piece of cake. We heard that fat rich. Yeah. The The only piece of cake that he was involved with is the one that they removed that they thought was his gallbladder, which was a gigantic piece of that double chocolate cheesecake that he ate on the way home in the car a couple of years ago. And by the way, Rich, I have real exciting news for you. I was thinking about it over the weekend. The black and blue, of course, takes several days when you're fat to raise to the surface, to the skin, so that you actually see it. So my doctor was explaining to me over the weekend that there's about 3 inches of fat on me that it has to... So it was like a delayed reaction several days after the surgery. All of a sudden, you start getting this gigantic black and blue where you lost all this blood. So, Rich, in about 6 months, man, you're going to be like one huge black and blue whale. They can put you in a seaquarium, baby. You're going to look great. I know I left somebody out. Damn, I mentioned Ticket Defense Team. And there were some other sponsors who sent plants, because I had like about a half a dozen at least plants, and the nice thing from Pompano Park and Calder, and I keep mentioning the same ones over and over again because I can't remember who the other ones were, damn it. God, is that embarrassing. Huh? But I sure do remember who the ones who were conspicuous by their absence were, you know what I'm saying? Like 610 WIOD, Cox Enterprises with their $5.2 billion. I mean, I talked to George and Cheryl a couple of times, but that was like personal, basically. I mean, that wasn't business. Nothing. Not is there like anything we can do. And thank God that Rick Riley let me on the air last, what day was that? Was it Monday? When I was screaming, I'm never going to get out of here alive. See, people think they must think that was like a joke, okay? It wasn't a joke. It was not a joke. I believed at that point that I would never see the outside again. It was like somebody in Auschwitz getting a phone line. Please, let me speak to anybody. Okay, put me on the air? Oh, yes. Even their show. Anything. Oh, how did I get out of there? I had to practically fight my way out. Let me just give a word of advice, because I have lots to say today, okay? Let me give a word of advice to everybody, any age in this audience. Do never, ever go into any hospital alone. Bring Dr. Bob Mendelsohn, may he rest in peace. He used to say this all the time. Bring somebody with you, preferably somebody big and pushy like Fat Rich or somebody like that. Somebody with a big mouth, somebody who will practically stand guard round the clock at your door to save your life and to fight your battles for you and to prevent them from just totally doing whatever the hell they want to you, man. They took enough blood out of me, they could have a blood bank over there. There should be a plaque on the wall at Mount Sinai, the Neil Rogers Blood Bank. I'm serious. They could have filled a bathtub with blood. And in the meantime, they're saying, boy, your blood count's sure low. I can't understand why. No, I can't either, okay? Take here. Have another gallon. Here you go. Oh, God. They brought needles in the size of Vermont. You could have filled up. I thought they were like serving tomato juice. And, boy, the food, don't get me started on that. The best. Gourmet cuisine. Yeah. God. Hey, attention all Toyota, Honda, and Nissan owners. How'd you like to get full sticker price for your old car? Well, you can when you buy a new 92 Toyota only at Toyota of Hollywood. It's true. Toyota of Hollywood is offering sticker price trade-ins on all 85 to 91 Toyotas, Hondas, and Nissans. See a salesperson for details. Just run around inside. Say, are you a salesperson? And some of them might even admit it. And check out these exciting low prices available right now. The all-purpose Previa van, fully loaded, just $17,769. Popular Corollas from just $98.88. Sporty, economical little Tercels from just $64.95. Hardworking 4x4 starting at just $11,566. Or the luxurious, beautiful, all-new 92 Camry from just $14,185 at Toyota of Hollywood. Again, all you Toyota, Honda, and Nissan owners, take advantage of this incredible sticker price trade-in offer only at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Taft and Sheridan Streets in Hollywood, open late every night for your spending convenience.
The opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of 610 WIOD or its sponsors.
10:16 at WIOD, so I open up my Sun Sentinel the first day I get home last Tuesday after I had fought my way out and screamed and demanded freedom from Mount Sinai Hospital. And the first thing I see in Tuesday morning Sun Sentinel is an article about the excessive mortality rate in many of our nation's hospitals, including Jackson here in town, by the way, and that people are dying like flies in hospitals. Kind of a shock to me, yeah. And then yesterday morning I open up the Sun Sentinel, and what does the headline say on page 3A? Oh, I did that wrong. What does the headline say on page 3A? Surgeons botch new technique, it says. really shocked the crap out of me. Complications arise from procedure. Oh, by the way, before I get into this, I do want to say this. Dr. Harold Unger and his son Stephen, the younger Unger, they're the ones that did my surgery. They're the best. They're the best in the country at this. He's done over 400 of these, thank God. A lot of practice. So he's the best. Now, if he's the best and he did this and I came out looking like this, what's going to happen if I would have had the worst? You're great, Harold. I love you, okay? Well, you're just tremendous. But the thing is, when you go in, they tell you nothing. They tell you nothing. And let me just tell you this. I don't want anybody to get scared. I want you to get scared crapless is what I want you to get. Before you go into a hospital and let them play with your body, that's what I want you to get, psychotic. I want you to ask questions that haven't been invented yet. Because they tell you absolutely nothing. Oh, yeah, piece of cake, 4 little thing. No, whip that baby out, sure. Piece of cake. Uh-huh. Full of crap. Just from the anesthesia alone, you can croak. Seriously, there's some people who just have, like, violent reactions. Anesthesia, general anesthesia, is like a major, even if you have no surgery at all. I don't want to go into a big thing, a doctor show here today, but I will. I will. Because I have never felt so strongly about anything in my life, which I have left here at this point in my life. But there were many times in the last week I thought not. They were going to bring in, instead of the best of Neil, the rest of Neil is what they were going to bring in, like in a little box. I mean, the things that go on, and then they start coming in and scaring the daylights out of you. And, oh, geez, you might get pneumonia. Of course, I was in a room where it was like 500 below zero. It was blowing a gale like a wind tunnel from the ceiling. They bring the technicians, no speak any English. They bring them on a ladder, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're up there potchking around on the ceiling. He pulls a big towel out of this thing. Somebody had shoved a towel up in his damn vent on the ceiling, like a huge beach towel, because the wind was blowing out of there 100 miles an hour. But, hey, you can't take deep breaths because it hurts every time you breathe after the surgery, so you better get up and move around because otherwise you're going to get pneumonia. But the fact that we got it 100 below zero in here and we can't stop the wind, hey, don't bother us. Don't be a nitpicker, okay? Don't be a troublemaker now. Oh, if I started now, it would be midnight. Not today, midnight like Thursday. By the time I finished with the stories of everything in this experience, you cannot believe it. You can't imagine in your wildest nightmares all of the things that go on. And then you tell the nurse, how can anybody sleep on those beds? And the nurse says, oh, nobody sleeps in here. You can't sleep on that bed. The only time you ever fall asleep in a hospital is when you are so physically worn out and so exhausted and you've lost so much blood and nutrients because the food nobody can touch. My dog would laugh at it. When you're just so total, you just collapse. And then you wake up in this bizarre position, think, how the hell could I ever fall asleep like this? Only because you're so exhausted. The hospital is not a place to heal. It's not a place to get better. It's not a place where it's a place to die. It's a place to catch everything that's ever been invented and some germs and diseases that nobody can even identify yet. That's what a hospital is. So anyway, the story says surgeons botch new technique. Kind of caught my eye. Complications arise from procedure to remove gallbladders, it says. New York Times. Surgeons who rushed to use a new technique to remove gallbladders without adequate training have botched many procedures, New York State health officials and surgical experts say. Since August of 1990, at least 7 patients have died, and 185 others have suffered serious or life-threatening complications from the procedure, laparoscopic gallbladder surgery, at 99 of New York State's 204. This is just in New York. Complications are being reported to the department at the rate of 3 or 4 each week. Some patients have bled to death. And others have needed several additional operations to repair and reconstruct organs and tissues damaged in the surgery. A frequent injury is to the common bile duct, the vital tube through which bile flows to the bowel to aid digestion. In other patients, the bowel and urinary bladder were injured. To reduce the hazards, the health department issued guidelines on Friday specifying that surgeons must perform at least 15 laparoscopies under supervision before a hospital may issue credentials permitting them to perform the operation independently, etc., and so on. The operation, this is the last paragraph, the best part. The operation is often called Band-Aid surgery because it leaves a smaller scar than the traditional operation. And, of course, by calling it Band-Aid surgery, it kind of, in your mind, minimizes the idea that this is serious, potentially life-threatening surgery, right? Of course, just a piece of cake, sure. Here, let's just put like 4 bullet holes in your abdomen. You'll feel great in a couple of days, man. No problem at all. God. 10:22 at WIOD. I can't really believe that I'm sitting here. I just cannot believe it. A week ago today, I would have bet anything that they would have had like just body parts scattered around the building, out by the W. Snooze tombstone out there in the front. There's just no way. Anyway, let me tell you about a little gizmo that's really exciting called the Sony Data Discman, an electronic book reader that's capable of displaying thousands of pages of text and graphics stored on a removable disc. And the unit is small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, believe me when I tell you, and remarkably easy to use as well. In fact, George has been toying with this one all weekend long. He's been playing with it and looks worn out. The Sony Data Discman enables you to access an entire library worth of information right on the top of your desk or in your briefcase. And the Data Discman is a reference source that puts a world of information right at your fingertips. Just a few of the titles available right now: the Dictionary of American Slang, International Wine Guide, Henry, World Travel Translator, Grolier's Encyclopedia that comes free with every unit that you buy, Roger Ebert's Movie Home Companion, Total Baseball, Sporting News Baseball Guide and Register, and Hoover's Handbook, profiles of over 500 major corporations, European Business Guide, and lots more. The Sony Data Discman is a learning tool for school, for business, and pleasure, a whole world of information that can fit right in the palm of your hand, in your pocket, or your briefcase. So see a Sony Data Discman today at your nearest BrandSmart location. And I'll say it again, the Grolier's Encyclopedia is included free with every unit that you buy. It's the perfect gift for Father's Day, graduation, and back to school. And this Saturday, June 20th, come and check it out, because I'll be at BrandSmart in Sawgrass Mills from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday, June 20th at BrandSmart. Check it out, the Sony Data Discman.
WIOD flashback. This was supposed to be spontaneous, guys. We don't need to hook up wireless mics and strap the bartenders down. Hold on just a second here.
Well, bartenders are busy, man.
Okay. Oh, we can hear you good, Marvin.
Hey, Marvin.
Okay, we got a shot of, tell him, a shot of Cuervo Gold.
Okay, now you need to get a shot of Kahlua. Not a shot, but a splash of Kahlua.
Un drinko especial.
Oh, translator.
That Miami Spanish goes a long way here, doesn't it?
Oh, man. Hey, make that 2 con drinkos.
Hear Rick and Suds this Monday afternoon on South Florida's news, traffic, and weather station, News Talk Radio 610 WIOD. Don't touch that dial. Coming up this afternoon at 2, it's Rick Riley and Suds Coleman. Join us then for Rick and Suds.
Well, I just remember one of the people I left out. Peter had absolutely traveled. They said a beautiful plant. Thank you so much profusely. And I'm sure there were a couple of others that I left out. Okay, there's only one thing I want to say before I take this next call, and that is...
I'll tell you what, that call you made Monday, you sounded scared crapless.
Scared isn't that's the understatement of the century. I was hoping, remember when Lee Harvey Oswald, you remember that thing where he was saying, I'm requesting somebody to come forward and give me legal assistance, like he was like alone and desperate, and anybody, just somebody anywhere, come forward and help my ass out of this, because I'm in
patsy.
Deep... Right.
Right.
And that's how I felt. No, not how I felt, how I was.
Yeah.
You can't... Well, you're, of course, calling to say that I told you so.
No,
and you're right. I should have... In retrospect, if I would have drank the olive oil and the lemon juice, the worst that could have happened would have been a couple of bad BMs, okay? I mean, that would have been the worst.
Well, anyway, I mean, at least people will learn. At least there'll be somebody out there that'll do it the right way because of all this.
Or at least check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. They don't give you a chance to ask anything, okay? They have the pre-op the day before.
Yeah.
And you go in and they make a little scratch on your arm, okay?
What kicked me...
Will you listen to me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're not listening.
I'm listening.
They make a little scratch on your arm to check the bleeding time, how fast you heal.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be between 3 and 9 minutes, 3 being the fastest and 9 being the slowest acceptable if you're going to undergo surgery. Right. 9 minutes is, you know how mine was?
How?
9 minutes. Because I'm diabetic, I'm a very slow healer. People with diabetes heal very slowly.
And they didn't question that?
So, huh?
Did they question that?
Well, they said, hey, it's close enough. Yeah, 20 minutes. It's close enough to us. You know, it's close enough to 9, 11, whatever it was. 9 minutes, yeah.
What kicked me in the butt is, do you remember the call from the surgeon who agreed that it would work in 85% of the cases?
The olive oil, right.
You know, so...
And as it turns out, because I didn't hear it, but my mother, who spent 2 days at my house, which I didn't even want to talk about, but my mother was telling me that somebody called in a Rick and Spud, somebody who was part of the operating thing at the hospital, and they said, some kid, he said that Neil's gallbladder was like a white hot, and that it had a bunch of small, like a couple hundred real small stones that were about the size of tomato seeds. Well, tomato seeds are very small.
Yeah.
So it seemed to see my concern with the olive oil is I was afraid I'd have some big ones and that I'd get one lodged in there and go, you know, and of course if it gets lodged, your gallbladder blows up like a balloon and like deadly.
Well, they replayed the call that we talked about the 4-inch peg in the 2-inch hole.
Right.
Well, it would have all came out in the end anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad you're all right.
I'm telling you, this is just, I can't describe it. I just can't believe that I survived this thing. I mean, everything from if you could have seen, I wish we could have a live studio audience. Alex Bennett would have been proud when these two guys from the pulmonary unit come in, these two clowns, and they made a speech. My nurse almost passed out on the floor. She got so frightened from the speech about how they had taken an x-ray, okay?
Yeah.
And they found like 2 little tiny marks on my lungs. Well, my doctor, Dr. Unger, who, like I said, if I would have listened to him the whole time, I'd have been in great shape because he's the only one who knew what the hell he was talking about. But you can't just have one doctor. You got like 85 different doctors, okay? And they come in and they make a speech about, well, you know, the surgery, you get blood and the thing, it gets loose in your legs and then the blood clots and they can come into your lungs. And they made this alarming thing about pulmonary embolisms and how dangerous they are.
And, of course, that's not going to affect your blood pressure, right?
Now listen to me.
Go ahead.
They then they start talking about angiograms. I said, listen, even a moron like me knows what that is. There ain't no way I'm undergoing no angiogram. So the first thing we do, it's called a lung scan, okay? So they take me down. I want you to listen to this very carefully, okay?
Yeah.
Anybody in this audience, if anyone ever says they're going to do a lung scan on your body, call the police, call the FBI, call everybody you know, and run. I'm serious. And run out of there screaming and yelling. They're trying to kill me, okay?
Yeah.
They take me downstairs. They lie my fat body on this.
Now, I'm trying to picture this. Were you in a blue smock?
Yeah, it's blue smock. I mean, one of those hospital gowns. That's the first thing they do is make sure you're running around almost naked so that you feel totally defenseless.
Cool breeze blowing up the crack of your ass.
Right, exactly. So they take me down and lie me on this slab, and they take... I'm telling you, I know I saw Mengele was one of the names of the doctors in this room. I'm serious. And they take a hood, like an S&M thing, and they strap it around your head.
No.
I'm serious, so tight that it feels like your head is going to explode, okay? I'm not making this up. You're laughing. This is serious. They then take the mouthpiece, which is like a breathing thing from oxygen,
right,
and they put that over your mouth.
Right.
And then they say, don't worry about it.
Are you claustrophobic at all?
Well, I found out I was. They said, don't worry about it. This is pure oxygen. Just take deep breaths, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sonny just sent some nice stuff. Thank you, sir. So anyway, then they tell you to breathe. Well, after the first 30 seconds, you don't feel like you are breathing, even though they tell you, they give you a story, well, it's pure oxygen. You don't feel like you're breathing. You feel like you're smothering. I mean smothering, and this thing on your head is so tight, and I just reached up and grabbed it off my head. I couldn't stand it. I thought I was going to lose my mind. Oh, no, not yet, not yet. Just keep breathing, okay?
What don't they want you to see?
And so it's not that you can't see. You can see, but this thing is strapped from like your forehead around to the back of your head. You can see. It's just that you can't breathe, that's all, and that your head is exploding. So now he puts it back.
Did it have a little red apple on it?
Then he puts it back on there again, and for about another 40 seconds to a minute, and I guess I finally lasted long enough to get it done. And then I reached up, I just pulled it off again. I said, no, Then they take the thing and they put it over your head to take pictures of your lungs with some other thing, and they lower it to the point where it's just about touching your body, like an MRI or something like that. And now you're lying there, and you've just gone through this other real constrictive, claustrophobic experience, and you just finished, and now that takes forever. And they inject. Of course, you got the little IV thing conveniently on your wrist. See, so everybody comes. Oh, here, let me stick some stuff in there. Okay, you don't have any idea what they're sticking in the IV. Oh, here, let me put the needle in there, and you're lying there. So the best part of the whole deal is then after this, they take me in for ultrasound of my legs to check for blood clots. Which ultrasound is fine. That's like they do on the gallbladder. That is a piece of cake. That's painless.
Right.
And the two women are in there and they're looking and it's fine, no problem at all. They're squeezing my leg. You see the blood is no. There's no blood clots in there. So I'm lying there, and now these two S&M pulmonary guys come in, Oh, man, the pictures are perfect. Dr. Unger was right. It was nothing. There was a false alarm. And, of course, see, they can always say, well, this pulmonary embolism can be fatal, so we're just covering, they're really covering their ass, but we're just making sure. You know what I'm saying?
Up a bill.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Listen, when they get you in there, every test that's ever been invented, every test that they ever thought of, every machine that the hospital can afford to buy, you're helping to pay for, okay? Because they're going to do everything on you that they can think of doing.
Well,
but you know something? That kind of butched me up because after that I started turning everybody down.
Sure.
I go back up. I'm back. Although Omar, you can wheel me around in there anyway. Omar, you can wheel me all over the hospital. God, they have so many nice people there in Mount Sinai, and so many nice-looking people in there too.
Did they do the?
And of course, my luck. I'm in there. If I would have, why even bother talking about it? You know what I'm saying? If they would have lined up at the door, there's nothing I could do at that point. I'm like helpless. Oh, that was a really important
thing.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Catheter?
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Because usually after anesthesia, you have a hard time, moving.
No, I just had a little bottle.
Oh, you were lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
And boy,
how do you feel?
How do I feel right now?
Yeah.
Just a little weak.
Yeah.
You ought to see the giant black and blue. I'm showing it to everybody in the building who's got a strong enough stomach to look. I've got the black and blue. I'd say a third of my whole right side is dark purple, just black and blue.
Let me ask you a question. This is what I don't understand.
Yes.
Normally when you get gallbladder attacks, it's because the stones are large.
No, not necessarily. Some of the smaller ones get lodged. They fit right over the opening. I understand.
Oh, okay. All right, well, as long as you're going to be all right, though, right?
I guess, as far as I know, unless there are any more surprises coming, unless the doctor, the pill... Oh, and then I didn't even tell you the best part. I haven't even gotten to the best part of the story.
Okay, let's hear it.
I finally forced my way out, begging and pleading. I'm on the phone at 4 in the morning. I mean, you go in that hospital, the minutes are like hours, and the hours are like centuries, and you're so uncomfortable, and the temperature, and there's like this gas. They switched me to another room because the wind tunnel in the first room they couldn't stop. They put me in another room. Seriously. And it was like either too hot or too cold, but no matter what the temperature was, there was like poison gas coming from the ceiling, okay? I felt like I was at Auschwitz. I'm telling you. I kept saying I'm like in a concentration camp. I'm nauseous all the time, just smelling the air. So I finally forced my way out. I get home. And the first Dr. Unger was going to let me out. And then my pill doctor, my Israeli guy from across the street, now you're not getting out of here till I saw him coming. I thought, I'm never getting out of here. So he gives me 2 prescriptions because my blood count is low. He gives me iron. You know how much iron you have to take? You'd have to eat like a metal a sink to get enough iron. It takes time to get your blood count back up when you lose a lot of blood. And secondly, because he's so terrified that I have infection, he gives me a prescription for horse pill penicillin. It's called Augmentin, 500 milligrams, 3 a day. Do you know how much 500 milligrams of anything is? The pills are like elephant droppings. That's how big they are.
Wow.
Well, that night, guess what? I'm allergic, I find out, which I never knew before. I start itching. You ever have poison ivy?
Yeah.
From my hands, my back, I'm breaking out in hives. I went through 7-8 hours of the worst living hell in the history of the human race. Augmentin. How do you like that? So, in other words, no matter what was going on, none of it, anything had to do with my gallbladder. Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was going through all these other pulmonary embolisms. You're bleeding to death inside. You got like screaming hives. It was a pleasant week.
But you took the time to call Rick and Suds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have a good...
Well, wait a minute. How much have you lost?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, through all this trauma, you've had to lose some weight.
No, I weigh exactly the same.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
Well...
They pump you so full of crap, it takes like 7 years just to get the chemicals out of your body.
Anyway, did you get to keep any of the stones?
Good
day.
10:37 at WIOD. Hey, now I can go over to Arnold's all the time, okay? I'm serious. Once you get your gallbladder out, man, you can enjoy the great stuff from Arnold's Royal Castle, like round the clock, nonstop. Those great Neely burgers and those fantastic Rochester White Hots and those great bratwurst from Don and Bob's. You just can't beat it as the tradition lives on at Wayne Arnold's Royal Castle. They've been doing it since 1980. As a matter of fact, Wayne has been there for over 25 years, just working up a sweat right over not right over the grill, but at least a good distance. And the Castle burgers are made with blue ribbon ground beef, grilled sweet onions, pickle chip, your choice of toppings, birch beer in the frosted mugs, just like they did years ago. And the famous Rochester White Hots and Red Hots with Wayne's own homemade Italian meat sauce that he jumps up and down on with his big fat feet. Guaranteed the best coffee ever, made with the same recipe of blends used by the old original Royal Castle. And the Neely Burger, made with hotel-cut layered bacon and topped with hot melted American cheese. You'll have everything on the menu, including, of course, the great breakfast that you can have 24 hours a day. And come in this month and help celebrate the anniversary at Wayne Arnold's with a delicious free frosted mug of birch beer with all food orders. You can't beat that with a stick. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never closed, even on Shavuos. Wayne Arnold's Royal Castle, just a block west of I-95 at 125th Street, 12490 Northwest 7th Avenue in North Miami. Never a hassle at Wayne Arnold's Royal Castle.
Another news update from the award-winning 610 WIOD News Center comes up at the top of the hour.
Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
New from Heavenly House, it's here at last. The hipper scripture that speaks to today's teens. It's the Teen Bible. God's Word, promo. Yes, all your favorite Bible stories. The creation.
And God said, excellent. And whoa, it was excellent.
The fall of Adam and Eve.
Shout, swing.
Even Moses and the burning bush.
I have 10 commandments for you.
No way.
Wait.
The Teen Bible also includes the top 10 Psalms of all time.
Yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. Wow, like serious bummer.
And you'll get the totally bodacious New Testament.
Let us the dude who is without sin cast the first stone. Not.
So fasten your Bible belts and get your teen on the road to total salvation.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
The Teen Bible, the good book that cops a tooth.
Acknowledged. Party on.
1042 at WIOD. Here's a lady mobile in Pirine.
I told you.
You're right.
I told you.
Yeah.
And definitely don't take drugs. I don't believe you let them give you drugs.
What do you mean by that?
Because, see what happened when you took drugs?
Yeah. Well, you should know. It's the.
But you're my friend. I would have told you don't take
the lady
them.
drug pusher. She knows better than anybody what she's doing to the public.
Don't take those things.
First of all, when you're in there, when you're in that hospital, when you get the anesthesia, God only knows what they're pumping into your body, okay?
Terrible thing.
And it takes days and days for all that stuff to work its way out. And you have like gas inside every part, every bone, every rib. I mean, just all over. Every time you move, it's like an internal fart. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then you have that little IV on the wrist. So like I said before, they keep coming along and just jabbing stuff in there. You don't know what they're putting in there.
That was the best part of being a nurse.
And so finally, I just started saying, no, get back up after this horrible lung scan, which I thought was going to be the last moments of my life, okay? Can you ever imagine? Can you even envision a procedure like this? I'm back up in the room within 5 minutes. There's 2 nurses in there. Oh, guess what? We're both here to get blood. One wants blood from the artery and the other from the vein. I said, guess what? You're both leaving, okay? And I'm serious. And after that, I started kicking everybody out. I became the biggest pain in the ass they probably ever had in that hospital, and that's my advice to everybody. If you're in there alone, just make a nuisance of yourself. Just make yourself the biggest pain in the ass and scream and carry on until they finally just can't handle it anymore.
Did you leave at 4 in the morning, really?
No, I was going to, and Dr. Unger on the phone convinced me to stay until 7. And I somehow miraculously fell asleep. I have no idea how.
Oh,
and I wake up at 7. He comes in about 7:15. He checks me over. You're okay, ba-ba-ba. And he signs me out. I'm discharged, okay? I'm waiting for them to come and take this little IV thing out of my wrist so I can get the hell out of there and drive myself home. Now, about 20 minutes goes by, and here Dr. Furman, the Israeli pill doctor from across the street, my other doctor in there, he appears at the door. And I said, oh, my life isn't worth a crap now, okay? I'm never getting out of here. And, oh, no, he shows me the thing on the little page. Dr. Unger wrote, patient discharged upon approval of Dr. Furman, see? So, in other words, when he approves, then I can get out. And then he takes the time to write me the 2 prescriptions, one of which was for the penicillin that nearly turned my life into a living hell.
You're lucky you didn't die.
Have you ever taken a drug? Have you ever taken a drug you're allergic to?
Never. I don't take drugs. Are you kidding?
If you can imagine, I'm serious, if you can imagine, your hands are itching so bad and so red that you want to rub the skin off of them. It's like having poison ivy only multiplied times 100. And now hives are breaking out in huge blotches all over every part of your body, on your ass, on your side, on your back, and and then even in fact at 5 in the morning I had fallen asleep for about 20 minutes. I wake up and I feel a nodule on the side of the bridge of my nose, the size of a peanut, on the bridge of my nose.
And you paid $100 for that prescription.
$2.50 a tablet, okay? $2.50 a pill, Augmentin.
Exactly.
And I've taken other kinds of penicillin before, so there's no general rule of thumb if you're allergic to penicillin.
Never take it.
Oh, man.
Never take it. You can die. I mean, you can have respiratory failure.
Yeah. And you know another thing that goes on, since you're a pill pusher, you know, it's something that should be illegal. You notice when you get your prescription, you almost never, ever get the package insert that tells you the
Never. We don't want you to read that.
No,
You'd
with the
never take
contraindications and all the side effects and all the sudden, like, you know, sudden death, little minor things like that. You never get that. You just get the nice little plastic bottle from the pharmacist with a little thing on there.
Call me.
Right, exactly. There should be a law in the state of Florida that there must be a package insert with every prescription or they can't sell it to you. That should be the law in this goddamn state.
No, wait, let's not get carried away.
Yeah, right. Yeah. See, you don't care. You have no conscience. You're slaughtering people.
I told you not to go in that hospital. I warned you. I told you not to do it.
Well, you were right, and I kept thinking about that while I was in there. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that I really, most of the time, felt I would never get out of there alive. You're laughing, but I'm telling you, I really believe that. Because the stuff that was going on was so ungodly, I can't even describe it to you.
I used to be a nurse before I was a drug pusher.
How can you recover, first of all, when you're in a room where the air is like poison, okay? It is so unsafe to breathe. To every breath, it's like you're breathing noxious fumes.
Just think you have 1,000 sick people in this place breathing all the same, recycling that
breathing
same
every
air.
germ and every disease that's ever been invented. And then secondly, the food, there's such a lack of anything edible there, my dogs would have turned their nose. The amount that I ate. Now, Fat Rich finally smuggled me in a cheeseburger the other, you know. Seriously, and it was from the cafeteria, and it was just a mediocre cheeseburger, but it tasted like the greatest thing I'd ever eaten in my life. It was just a miracle. A miracle.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what I say. I can't get over it. I just can't believe it. The people are so foolish. And then I was at the track over the weekend at Pompano, and a woman comes up to me to tell me stories about her poor husband that nearly bled to death in the hospital and went in for something relatively minor, and they butchered him up, and the stuff that went on. Just incredible. It's unbelievable. You were right. You were right.
I know.
I noticed.
So that guy that called me a bitch, you tell him to sit on it.
Right. Sit on this.
Right.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Now, she was right. 1047 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751 and 2 in Broward. See, that hasn't changed, huh? Well, it's Monday. Just try to keep in perspective, okay? 524 WIOD. 2 open lines in Broward. Let's not get carried away and show that we care too much, okay? Let's not overreact here this morning. Because obviously we don't give a crap at all. These people are like our management here, okay? Totally indifferent to human suffering or anything. Can you really believe that? I still can't get over that. I was in the hospital for 4.5 days. I was like, went through a major, I mean, this was like a serious, nasty, maybe life-threatening thing, far worse than I ever dreamed. Not a phone call, not a card, not a bunch of Twinkies, not a plant, not anything. Like, I mean, they sure knew where I was. They know my address. I mean, they sure knew my phone number enough to have George call me and bug me about some commercial damn thing. You know, here I'm lying there at home, like, wondering if I'm ever going to live again, if my skin is ever going to stop itching, and I'm ever going to be able to have one day of comfort again in my pathetic, meaningless life. Nothing from the powers that be here at Cox Broadcasting, your we don't give a crap station, okay? Just totally, absolutely insensitive to anything.
This fall, join us for another exciting season of Dolphins and Hurricanes football action right here on South Florida's sports station.
Danny Jackson is God. Oh! Yeah, 1052 at WIOD. Here's little Joey on the phone, another dispenser of killing drugs.
Glad to have you back there, Uncle.
Yeah. Another guy who's making a whole life occupation of dispensing killer drugs to mankind.
I never said they killed anybody.
They do.
Well, that's because you took the wrong one.
You're destroying the human race. This whole society's all hung up about street drugs and cocaine and pot and this one and that one and hashish and all this other crap. I got news for you. There are more people dying every day in this country and more people hooked on these obnoxious, disgusting, highly destructive prescription drugs than all the people put together who are doing so-called recreational drugs, okay? We got a drug problem in this country, all right, and it's from people like you and the Feldine lady and all you doctors out there who are putting all these people on these prescription drugs. Have a nice life, Mike.
But I am making good money off it, though.
What is it? Well, Ranieri just walked out. I want to say have a nice life before him. You never know. You might not see him again.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, I told you, at least I'm making money off it, huh?
Yeah, that's good. Well, at least you're a good American capitalist. We like that.
Exactly. So
it's like the medical profession. They make money off of people suffering, and I think that's great.
Well, doctors are the worst. So.
And if you don't suffer already, they'll make sure that you will before you're through.
Are you still shooting up some prescription they gave you? Or?
I'm not shooting up anything, okay? Oh, yeah, I'm going to go home and take some Augmentin again. I'll take some here on the air tomorrow, put on a real floor show for the audience. I'll bring some in and pass it around to everybody.
I just wanted to make sure you're all right.
Do you know what that is, Augmentin?
No.
It's a form of penicillin. Do you know how much 500 milligrams of anything is?
A lot.
500 milligrams is like an elephant pill. It's like a whale pill. It's like a bowling ball, okay? You have to shovel it down with a shoehorn, okay? 500 milligrams 3 times a day. And by the time I got to the 5th one, my wrists were itching like I should have slit them. And by the time I finished the 6th one, my whole body was doing St. Vitus dance. Dance on this, doctor. Oh, but I haven't told you the best. Wait till I tell you the best part of the story.
All right.
So I get up in the morning. I mean, I say I get up after maybe 20 minutes sleep, and I'm just through agony the whole night. And I put in a call to the pill doctor's answering service, okay? And he calls me back a little while later, and I had left a message that I had a bad reaction to one of the prescriptions he prescribed.
That was a rash?
Huh?
That was the rash you got?
Listen to me. He calls and says, Neil, what happened? You got a rash? You know what that's like? That's like asking some people in the Holocaust if they had a headache. That's what, did I get a rash, okay? And then he says, oh, what a shame, because, all those blood tests came back negative. In other words, I didn't have any infection. I didn't have any bacteria. He said, I was going to call you yesterday and tell you to discontinue it. He was going to. He never got around to it, but he was going to call me and tell me to discontinue taking it because, again, just like the lung scan and all this other invasive crap, it was unnecessary. It was just Panic City. They're all so scared crapless that something's going to happen to you, that they're going to get a malpractice suit, that they wind up doing 1,000 million different things to you that you don't need to be done in the first place. And just using your body like a goddamn chemistry set.
Like an experiment.
Yeah, right. Like a bad trip.
What?
Yeah, right.
All right, Uncle.
Just search your conscience, Joey.
Me?
Yeah.
I have no guilt whatsoever.
Just search your conscience for the damage that you're doing to the human race at their expense.
Okay.
Just remember, a sucker's born every minute.
Exactly.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
10:56 at WIOD. Yeah, isn't that a great line? I was going to call you yesterday. All the tests came back negative. I was going to call you and tell you to discontinue it. Didn't get around to it. So isn't it great that you got this great experience? Because look at the good part of it. I found out that I'm allergic to some forms of penicillin. And if he would have called me and I wouldn't have had taken enough of them for that to set in, I would have never found that out. So next time could have been like death. Thanks a lot, Doc. Here's the, one of our good friends.
Yes.
The Cockamoon lady.
I'm very happy to hear your voice.
Alive, yes.
And I'm glad to hear everything's all right.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
I called you twice, but Cockamoon. Cockamoon.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to George twice to find out how you were getting along.
Yeah. Can you believe that the powers that be in this place never even called to see if there was anything that I needed or that they could do or how I was...
Yeah.
Nothing. Can you believe that?
That's mean. When I was in the hospital,
mean.
My room looked like a funeral parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot of flowers, but not from these people here.
Yeah, right.
No. All they do is squeeze and manipulate and use you till every last drain of blood is left. And I got news. I haven't got much left for them.
Yeah. Well, take it easy.
So I made sure I flashed my black and blue all over the place in this building today so they could all see it. Because the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, geez, taking a whole week off now? This was supposed to be a 1 or 2 day. And, of course, right away they think you're screwing off. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, don't upset yourself. Make yourself well.
Right. And screw them.
Everything will be all right.
Okay.
Take care, dear.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
And don't forget.
Cockamoon.
Right. 10:58 at WIOD. We have an open line in the center. No, look at that. They're smoking now. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
I've been listening to you now. Let's get off this hospital subject. I think.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's change the show to suit your convenience, sir. What is it you'd like to talk about?
Well, I've been listening to you for about 5 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And was talking to my friend yesterday. Actually, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And he was telling me all about your show. You know, listened to it for about 3 years now. He loves you.
Yeah.
Follows you. And he told me something about you I didn't think was true. I got to ask you.
Yeah.
Neil, are you a homosexual?
Oh, God. Let me ask you something. You suffer from, like, penis envy, sir, or something like that?
Listen, if you're homosexual, you just lost a listener, you flaming faggot.
Okay, that's good. There's a good. Here, let's get off this hospital stuff and talk about faggots, okay? There you go. You probably work in a hospital, you spineless little wimp. God almighty, you little pencil needle thing. We can't say Dick because we're not sure that's his name, right? Well, it could have been, right? That could have been his name. Anyway, we have, what do we got? Henry Burrow with the 11 o'clock WIOD News. Henry's like nauseous. He thought...
Henry's not here.
What are you talking about, Henry's not here?
I'm Henry.
God, Henry, you've butched up dramatically since I left. Like I said, good old Elaine is here. Elaine, who's schmoozing around with all the politicians in Broward to try to make herself a star. And we got Rick and Spud with open phones from 2 to 6 this afternoon.
Engine killer. WIOD, the Neil Rogers Show.
You wanted to see me, H?
It's about time, Whisk-Bottom. Have we sold off those loser divisions that are sucking our bottom line dry?
Sir, as I may have mentioned before,
yes.
Oklahoma and Nebraska are not divisions. They're states. They're part of the Union.
Union? Don't ever use that word in this office.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry, sir.
That's better. Now, what else is going on?
Well, the Saudis called. They want to know if we could restore their F-16 service.
Those deadbeats still owe us millions. They won't be buzzing any camels until they settle up with accounts receivable.
President Perot, Congress is here to see you.
Good. Send him in.
What is it? President Perot, what you're doing here is unconstitutional.
Well, that's a pretty big word for a man in a cheap suit, fella.
What?
I called you idiots in here to tell you I'm streamlining the government.
Well, good. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're all fired.
What? That's crazy.
Crazy? I'm going to save this country a fortune by having all our laws made in Mexico.
Oh, please, Mr. Perot.
11:06 at WIOD. Poor Elaine. She looks like she's been through 6 operations, doesn't she? She looks bad. Looks burned out badly. Here's a lady in Tamarack.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I am so glad to hear you bitch and moan on the radio. It's so good to have you back.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to listen every day, but I assume today's the first day you're back since the operation.
That's right.
Oh. I just wanted to tell you that...
They play the same crappy tapes that they always do, you know.
It's just... Well, that's true. I didn't listen. That's why I didn't listen. But
only in a Bush League market like this could they get away with doing that, by slapping a bunch of tapes on the air every time the host isn't there. It's a joke.
It was sad, too, because I think I always flick on... I think I flicked on Friday, and it was the one about the L.A. stuff, and I thought, oh, man.
Yeah, that was timely.
But I wanted to tell you that I'm not sure the dates. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. Rick, you called Rick and Suds?
Monday.
On Monday, okay, Monday. And you sounded, obviously, very desperate.
Frantic. That's the word, frantic.
But it was weird because to me, I didn't listen to the whole... I listened to a lot of Rick and Suds that day, which I normally don't. But the next day when it came on, I turned it on because I told my husband, I said, I can't believe this. I said, it's like Neil disappeared. It's like the radio police said, Rick and Suds, you're not allowed to talk to him anymore, and he's in limbo. And I never heard anything the rest of the
Well, I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
Well, they talked to you, but then the call waiting came on and said Dr. Unger. Oops.
Oh, right.
Speaking of call waiting. But then...
Yeah, you know, that's the interesting thing. He sent these 2 pulmonary guys in who made this speech about pulmonary embolisms and blood clots in the lung and got me just scared to death, and then the nurse almost passed out on the floor. And then the 2 guys said, well, we're going to go talk to the doctor about it and see what he says. And I'm waiting, and I'm asking the nurses, where is the doctor? Oh, he's gone. Yeah. He's gone. And that's why when he came back on there, I said, I cannot believe you left. at this particular point. I can't. And he was just foaming at the mouth that they had come in and said these things. He was ready to attack him with a syringe.
Well,
That's what goes on in the hospital. They run around with scalpels and syringes chasing each other up and down a hallway.
I'm sorry about that. Everything seems really disconnected when you're in the hospital. Nothing sticks together.
You're disconnected from reality. And the thing I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I don't want to be an alarmist, but I've been in I haven't spent a lot of time in the hospital, but I have friends who have been, so I've been in a lot of hospitals. And the one thing that's a constant, no matter how good they're supposed to be, is that you can't breathe the air. It's either too hot or too cool, and it has this nauseating, sickening smell that every breath you take makes you to puke from. It just how can you get better in that kind of environment?
That's the stuff they wash the floor with.
Oh,
used to be called
God.
Used to be called red soap. When I was a
kid, soap.
I was a hospital volunteer, and we used to wash the floor with red soap.
I want to tell you something. Years ago, I was in Baptist Hospital, for 2 days. I had mono, which, by the way, they couldn't diagnose. They kept asking me about beriberi and about all these exotic... And my chiropractor came and he asked, did they take a mono spot test? And they said, oh, no, we never thought of that. Well, guess what? I had mono, okay?
Yeah,
I was run down. So I was in there for 2 days, and the second day I started bitching because it was so hot in there I couldn't breathe. So they send the guy in there with his little ladder. There's always some guy who knows speaking English. He comes with a ladder, and luckily the vent was just off to the side of the bed, not directly over it. He gets up on the ladder. He pulls this vent off the ceiling, and about 4,000 years of crap, of gray, like dead rats. I mean, all just starts falling out, and he's choking. And to think that the people in every room are breathing this crap in. And this is what hospitals are like.
Yeah, well, it's just like the government. I think a bureaucracy. It's run the same way. Everything's based on money.
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to tell you that I was really, I don't want to bore your listeners and have everybody hang up, but I wanted to tell you that I was worried about you. And I didn't realize how much I like to listen to you bitch and moan and laugh and play your bits. I happen to be sick, and I have to stay home alone all day. And it's really refreshing to hear you put in your 2 cents worth, whether I agree or not. And unfortunately, most of the time I'm finding myself agreeing. But I do want to tell you that I like you, and I have a request. It's a short one.
Yeah.
Would you just play that thing that says, Neil, God? There's something about that that's so funny.
There's something about that Orlando when you see him in those naked in those underwear things.
Neil, God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm glad to have you back, Neil.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 11 after 11 at WIOD. Yes, some lady sent me another catalog, another one of those underwear catalogs in which Orlando was prominently displayed throughout. I mean, what kind of a macho guy from Miami, Orlando, runs around in underwear all over the place, okay? We love you, but enough is enough. Oh, that's the wrong card. Anyway, he was on this morning, Oliver. What is that all about, too? I'm turned on CBS this morning. They got Bill Clinton on for 2 hours, and last week they had Perot on for what is that all about? God, I just don't understand it. Anyway, I think I'm going to have a real exciting experience in a couple of minutes. I think we better have a real long break prepared, because that soup was great from Sonny's, but it had like all kinds of roughage in it. You know what I'm saying? Like broccoli and carrots and the cabbage soup. Boy, that is great for cleaning out all that industrial strength goop that they put in your body in a hospital. Man. I mean, in just a matter of moments, you are flying down those stairs. I mean, you just can't. Your eyeballs are just dilating. They're turning brown. Anyway, our good friend Ponytail over at Pizza Loft says we're not the fastest. We're not the cheapest. We're just the best and the biggest pain in the ass. And interesting, I didn't hear a word from him all this time either. Isn't that amazing? I didn't hear a word from good old Jeff. Everything is fresh, cooked to order. The world's best pizza, whether you like the thin New York style or the thick Sicilian. Or those great, the Fugaza pizza, which is with that real spicy sauce and loaded with onions and all kind of good things. They've been doing great stuff over there at the Pizza Trough for the past 15 years plus. You can even put your lunch, dinner deliveries on your Visa or MasterCard. You'll find them upstairs at 69th and Flagler, just east of the Palmetto. Be sure and try their great homemade Italian specialties like the award-winning lasagna, stuffed shells, manicotti, baked ziti, or their famous eggplant Parmesan. They can cater your holiday party, any kind of thing you're doing, for as little as $4 per person. So check out the Pizza Loft upstairs at 69th and Flagler in prestigious Miami, just east of the Palmetto Expressway. Here's the phone number to call, 266-5111, if you want to order ahead or for delivery, 266-5111. The Pizza Trough, they are just unspeakable.
The opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of 610 WIOD or its sponsors.
11:15 at WIOD. Look at that level of excitement, man, on these phones. Just go into the commercial break and 3 people drop off, including 2 in Broward. That's the one thing about this town that I no matter what anybody tells me, I know that I'm right, okay? No heart. It wouldn't make any difference if I was having open heart surgery right on the countertop here. We're busy, okay? Hey, good luck to you. We have an open line on the Star Line, Star IOD, and one in the Center Square in Broward at 524 WIOD. Another typical great welcome home party, Neil. Yeah, we're excited. We're about as enthusiastic about you as your management, man. We love you. Lantana.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
Glad you're back.
Thank you so much.
Did you happen to have a private room when you were there?
Yes.
Oh, okay, because I had a routine myelogram about 2 weeks ago.
You had a what?
A routine myelogram.
Myelogram?
Right. That's
what the hell is that?
Like a spinal tap.
Oh.
And, when you hear the word routine, a bell should go off.
There is no such thing as a routine procedure in a hospital.
Right.
Or it's like routine surgery. There's no such thing.
Right, because they said, well, we'll have to keep you 24 hours to do observations on you.
Yeah.
So as I was
and
at
to build
the desk,
up to build the bill up.
Right. As I was at the desk, they start saying, do you have a living will? And would you like to be an organ donor and all these questions?
Yeah,
and I start thinking...
Builds up a lot of confidence.
Right. And the doctor was great, though. As he was doing the procedure, he goes, I've done 1,000 of these. He goes, whatever you do, don't bend over. Because if you bend over the
don't ever bend over in a hospital.
As you bend over, the dye that they inject in your body happens to go to your brain. Now, it won't do anything but cause a massive headache.
Oh.
So, as I was there, I was in my room after the procedure was done, and I was paging the nurse. And now, nurses are okay, but these aides that they have that don't speak any English are probably about your worst.
No speaking English.
Right.
We had quite a bit of that in Mount Sinai. There were several people, no speaking English, and don't confuse me with the facts and stuff like that.
Well, because I had to take a leak, and my jug was down by the bed, so I bent over. And the dye went to my head.
Oh.
This massive headache. So the nurse finally came in after I got this jug, and I go, listen, I got a very massive headache. Can you get me anything, any hard drug, the hardest that you got? And, just something to get rid of this headache. Well, as she was leaving the room, she met this other aide, and they start speaking some different language, and just took her time. An hour later, here she comes back with whatever she had. By that time, I was, exhausted. A hospital is not a place to get well.
No.
And I just want to...
And it's also not a place to have, like, a major accident in the room, because there was one night I pressed the button about 3 different times, and no response. And as I was lying, it was nothing earth-shaking, but it was something I needed, either like a Percocet that they kept doping me up with for pain or whatever.
That's what I had.
Yeah, and just nothing happened. And I kept thinking to myself, what would have happened if I would have fallen out of the bed and be having, like, some massive, horrendous coronary or something right now, because nobody was responding.
Now, was your Percocets 500 milligrams?
I don't know.
Well, anything 500 milligrams, I think, is too much.
Yeah. They have to be inserted manually if they're that big.
But anyway, I just wanted to tell you, I'm glad you're back, and could you send me a autographed stone?
Okay.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Bye-bye.
11:19 at WIOD. I'll send you something else autographed. It should be ready in just a few seconds here. We have an open line. I'm serious. I'm telling you, there's going to be a moving experience any second here. Open line on the out-of-town line. Now, I'm telling you, that cabbage soup with all that good roughage in there, boy, that just sweeps through like a gigantic electric broom. Right through your system, man. God. And I'm sure there's still plenty of really neat stuff inside of me from the hospital from days ago that hasn't been siphoned out yet. Mobile in Fort Lauderdale.
Neil, how are you?
Great.
Glad to hear everything went okay in the hospital.
It was fabulous, yeah. Best experience of my life.
Hey, that jerk that called earlier, that guy that called earlier that asked you that question.
That's not it. Listen, he calls like about once every 3 weeks. That's his occupation is that call.
You know who that was? It was Ross Perot.
Yeah, probably.
Listen, how about Danny Jackson?
Ross will be okay. Tell him I got the right uniform on today, all right? my little bow tie and my little knickers and my little brown shirt.
Yeah, that's what the country needs, another homophobic autocrat in charge.
Right.
Listen, how about Danny Jackson? Those Cubbies, you're doing something.
We are really smoking now, man. Yesterday, the scene there at Wrigley Field, you would have thought we just won the World Series.
I'm telling you. Well, for the money he makes, I guess they're going to go crazy like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, just wanted to tell you I'm happy you're feeling better, and it's good to hear you again.
Thanks a pile.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. 11:20 at WIOD, an open line in Broward. I'm going to be moseying on downstairs in a moment here, George. Just keep that in mind. You know, it seems a crime in this day and age not to have all your memorable moments on videotape, from your baby's first birthday to your baby's wedding and all those neat operations in between. Don't miss out. Go to Benson's Camera and Video for a free demonstration in new Sony 8mm camcorders. You can always stick one through your neighbor's window and get something you can probably squeeze some money out of them for. Benson's has the lowest prices on Sony camcorders and offers the most knowledgeable service before and after the sale. So before you get a short circuit at some overpriced electronic warehouse, save yourself the aggravation by going to Benson's Camera and Video, where their first price is always your best price. The best camera and video selection from major lines like Nikon, Kodak, Sony, Canon, Minolta, Pentax, all the top names. Benson's Camera and Video stores in Dade County. They're just 6 blocks south of the Falls on US 1. And in Broward County on South University Drive, right across from the Broward Mall.
WIOD Flashback.
You missed Goldberg at night on Friday. You missed John Gotti's attorney, Albert Krieger.
It's not a matter of being in jail under a life sentence and you make parole in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. If the appeals are unsuccessful, he will die in jail.
And this is going to be another big week on Goldberg at Night. It comes to you nightly at 8 o'clock. We take off for Las Vegas on Wednesday for the Holyfield Holmes fight, and we'll be coming to you from Caesar's Palace for most of the week. What could be better than that?
Join us for Goldberg at Night, Monday night at 8 on South Florida's news, traffic, and weather station. News Talk Radio, 610 WIOD. Tonight at 6, it's Sports Talk 610, South Florida's most listened to sports show, followed by Goldberg at Night with Hank Goldberg.
WIOD.
You know what I've discovered has reared its ugly head while I was gone? Listen. Can you hear that? We got a dirty pot. We got a dirty pot. And guess what? I was just downstairs, so we got 2 dirty pots. How do you like that?
Oh!
Yeah. Who's that on the bat line? Oh, look at that.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Glad to have you back.
I'm a little out of breath from running up and down the stairs.
Wow. You got to take it easy.
In my weakened condition. Well, I had like an emergency there, you know what?
Well, they should have given you a 10-minute break.
Yeah. God, I feel better now, though.
Very good.
Thanks for the cabbage soup, Sonny. Oh, that sure did it. Wow. And you know what I discovered?
What did you discover?
I really do believe we have Legionnaire's disease in this building.
Ooh.
There's an aroma in the hallway, and believe me, it's not from my recent experience. There is something in this place that is just, people are falling left and right.
Wow.
Like flies.
Need a Channel 7 investigation.
Right. Get them over here right now.
Wow. So
By the way, also, I just mentioned this in passing, the Guiding Light special that was on Friday night on CBS was the biggest disappointment, the biggest crock of garbage.
Was it really?
Oh, man, we saw like about 3 seconds worth of Bert Bauer and 2 seconds worth of Papa Bauer and like 4 seconds worth of Rita, and it was terrible. It was a big disappointment to me. It was crap.
Terrible.
Awful.
To get you all up for it and then disappointment.
There was no Mike Bauer. There was like about 1 second of the original Ed Bauer. There was just nothing. It's such a great show, and it's been on for so long, and they got all the video, and they could have put something together good, but instead of that, it was crap.
Terrible.
Yes.
So you should just watch Cub games now.
Speaking of crap, my bad luck, they had GN on the cable over at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Oh, no, so you saw those games.
Oh, even the night they won the doubleheader from the Cardinals, they went on till the wee hours of the morning.
I watched that,
and
too.
It was the most terminal and the most aggravating, and they couldn't hit the ball out of the infield, and it was just went on and on and on. And I was lying there like cockeyed, like propped up in that bed, and I had these awful migraines behind. Have you ever had a headache behind your eyes?
Yes.
Those are the worst headaches in the world, like right behind, like the back. They're so bad that the back of your eyeballs ache. That's how bad they are, okay?
You want to just pop
and
your
I'm
eyes?
laying there and I'm looking and like, oh, we're in the 85th inning and the Cubs can't hit it out of the infield and holy cow, this is pathetic and
Yes, and then
terrible.
the next night we lost a 4-run lead or 5-run lead.
Yeah, I think that was the first night I was home, as a matter of... What night was that? Was that Tuesday?
I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, that was the first night I was home, and we all of a sudden against Tewksbury, who, by the way, is going to kill us again tonight.
Today, yeah.
We all of a sudden we're smoking, and we're scoring runs, and we're head for nothing, and even Danny Jackson's got a big lead, and lo and behold, a little bit later, it's in the toilet.
Yep.
And that's where I went. A mad rush.
So we're 4 in a row now.
So listen, I got these gigantic horse pills I'd like you to try. They're like 7,000 milligrams. Take one every 5 minutes, and let's see if you can survive it, okay?
My little boy takes Augmentin, and they're big pills for him.
He takes Augmentin?
He has taken Augmentin. Ooh.
Oh,
His
God.
is supposed to be chewable
The
pills.
pill doctors,
Huge
man. These
pills.
people are murderers. You're murderers! Remember, how long have you been listening?
Have I been listening?
To me.
To you?
Yeah.
A long time.
Back when I used to have guests?
Yeah.
Do you remember Henry Rothblatt? The great attorney, Henry Rothblatt, the
Yes.
criminal attorney?
Yes.
Who just absolutely was psychotic about the medical profession, and he used to come on, "Doctor! Doctor!" He used to scream. He was just great. And the sad part about Henry is that he developed this melanoma on his wrist. He got like a cancerous tumor.
Wow.
And he was so crazy about doctors, because he had represented many of them over the years and seen the way that they had butchered up people and all the horrible things they did.
Right.
And he just absolutely refused to trust any doctor. And so the thing went up his arm and into his brain, and like in no time, he was dead.
Right. It does that.
So if you don't allow them to do it to you, and if you're paranoid and you don't get any treatment, then it's just as bad. So,
That's right.
Oh, it's brutal. It's just unbelievable.
On that note, did you hear about Frank? The guy that played Frank?
He had AIDS.
He died.
He died?
Yeah. Last week.
Well, how come we just got through a couple of months ago? Do you remember me reading it on the air?
Yep.
About how he had some kidney
failure.
thing, and he was taking treatments, and he was going to have to take dialysis, and he was gaining all that weight back, and it was all a bunch of crap, and he had AIDS, and he died.
That's it.
Why? You know what really bothers me? Why is it when somebody has AIDS, they have to go to such great lengths to cover it up?
Right.
Why
they
is
die,
that?
And then everybody
Why
knows
is
anyways.
that? So that somebody's going to think that they were gay? Well, who the hell cares? He's dead now anyway. What difference does it make?
That's right.
God.
That's what I say, too. Unbelievable. But he died last week. I think it was Tuesday.
I wonder if Robert Reed had AIDS.
I don't know.
What did Robert Reed die from, by the way?
Maybe it was AIDS.
I think it was.
I think it was.
Well, see, there you go. All these generalizations.
That's right.
Well, listen, I have no idea what we're talking about. I'm just so happy that I was able to make it up and down the stairs. You have no idea what a tremendous experience that was. One of the best of my lifetime.
Well, I'm glad, Neil. It's great to have you back.
Well, if you're happy, I'm happy. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
11:30 at WIOD, where it's just like one constant BM being in this place. We have an open line on the out-of-town line, 1-800-944-WIOD. Yeah, what are we going to do about this pot? You hear that? We got a dirty pot. This is such... why am I getting excited again? I mean, I've been here for almost 4 years. It's not going to... I go in a hospital a week. I think I'm going to come back. It's going to change. Of course not. It is such a slipshod, such an embarrassing, such a Bush League place. What are the engineers doing? What are the management people doing? What exactly, okay? Well, put it down for a minute, okay? Let it heal up for a while and come in here and check some things out. Make the place work. Make it like a little smoother, okay? During the break, I'm sitting down there in the magic room, and I hear this little voice from the next stall going, "Ooga booga, ooga booga." I don't know who it was. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes.
My name's Lynn, and
It's when?
Lynn.
Lynn.
Yeah.
How you doing, Lynn?
And I've been listening to you for a while. At first, I was a forced listener because my husband listened to you.
Right. We have a lot of people like that who are held at gunpoint, forced to listen every day to this show.
But I listen to you now because I like your opinion. You have some nice opinions, and I agree with a lot of them.
Right.
But I've been listening to you since you got back from the hospital.
Yes.
And I listened to Rick and Suds while you were in the hospital.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that this works for everybody, but I've recently, within the last 8 months, had someone who went into the holistic medicine with the juicing and the exercise and things like that.
Right.
So now I've gotten into it. And there's a book that I want to send you. It's called Juicing for Life.
It's called The Juicy Man?
No, Juicing for Life.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that by Gary Null?
No, Sherry Kalbum and Marie King.
Well, you sound so defensive about this. I happen to believe in that. Okay, that doesn't mean I do it, but I happen to be a big believer in that kind of thing.
Okay. Okay, well, that makes it even...
Because I know that every day that we're on this planet, we are being poisoned, and we're just absolutely being decimated. It's a miracle we can get up in the morning.
Absolutely. I don't even bother going to a hospital anymore. It's like, forget it. I don't want to go there. I won't go there.
When I got out of there, I told the doctor there are only 2 ways you'll ever get me in any hospital again, either in a coma or in a box. I'm not joking. Those are the only 2 ways I will ever go into a hospital again.
And I was just listening to you earlier while I was on hold, and you were talking about body cleansing. Well, there's a juice that you can drink that just like takes that and it just like gets rid of like everything. You know, it takes everything bad that was in
Gets rid of everything, huh?
Gets rid of everything. But it cleans out your system. It's a body cleanser. There's one for cleansing your blood. And it's just
what do you mean cleansing your blood? I don't have any of that.
No.
You think I have blood? I don't have any blood.
So.
Lynn, I have no blood left. You know, they kept coming in for more. I said, listen, check the dipstick. There you'll find 0. There's none left. There is none left. You've taken every drop I've got. And in the meantime, one of the first things they had me just going crazy about was one of the doctors had me convinced that I was suffering in massive internal bleeding because my blood count was so low, okay? Now, that's always a pleasant thing. And I said to Dr. Unger, I says, well, what happens if you are having internal bleeding? He said, well, then we have to go open you up again. Now, stop and think. I'm lying there in this weakened condition where I'm already terrified that I'm on death's door, and I'm being told, well, maybe if you're bleeding inside, we might have to open you up again, which means, of course, more anesthetic, and like we start all over again. And I said, well, when would you do that? He said, oh, well, we would only do that to save your life.
Oh,
and I'm thinking, oh, jeez, this sounds really promising now.
See, I got into this juicing thing, and I'm trying to go total vegetarian. I'm not saying that it works for everybody, but it works for me. And I got into it from a lady that I did housekeeping for. And when she went in to have her son 5 years ago, the anesthesiologist cut off the oxygen to her brain. So therefore it cut off the oxygen to the baby's brain, and it left her, you know, to where that she couldn't walk, and she had a speech, problem.
Yeah.
So she got tired after 3 years of going to medical doctors, and nothing was happening.
Well, send me the book, Lynn.
I'll send you the book, Neil.
I'd appreciate it.
And let's hope we can get you away from them freaking hospital.
Okay.
All right, you
Thanks
have a great day, Neil.
Thanks.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Here's a lady from Mount Sinai.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Last week we came to visit you, a couple of nurses and respiratory therapists.
Right.
Do you remember?
Oh, a whole bunch of people came to visit, especially after I came on the air with Rick Riley. There were all these people. Eddie Morgan was there, all the PR people. And everybody that came in the room, I said the same thing. I said, I'm not going to get out of here alive. But I did.
Well, you did get out alive.
I did. Well, surprise.
And you got out alive because of the good medical and nursing care here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Come on, Neil. What's the problem? I don't understand what went wrong.
Do you understand what went wrong?
No.
What does that mean?
You just sound like neurotic about it.
Yeah, neurotic. It was a lovely experience. It was wonderful.
See, the best defense is always being informed.
Yeah.
And that's one of the scary things about being hospitalized is that people just don't understand medicine. So every little thing that we obviously take for granted is...
Well, when people are coming in and making speeches that maybe you're going to have blood clots in your lungs and you might be on the verge of death every minute, or that maybe you're suffering massive internal bleeding and that maybe you're going to bleed to death or we're going to have to open you up to save your life, it isn't really conducive to feeling too secured. You know what I'm saying? You feel, hey, maybe there might just be something wrong going on here.
Well, okay, so you have to be calm and ask questions.
Right.
And not...
Right. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Neil, we were very concerned about you. We wanted to let you know that Mount Sinai is a terrific
There are a
hospital.
lot. Listen, there are a lot of really I'm not just saying this because I said it before. A lot of super people there at Mount Sinai. I really mean that.
Right.
Including some of the nurses and a lot of the people in every facet. There are a lot of great people there. But that's got nothing to do with everything else I'm talking about.
Well,
I mean, you could have the greatest people in the world, but if there are people who are like, scaring the crap out of you and you're suffering such anxiety and you can't breathe the air and that you're inhaling fumes that make you feel nauseous all the time, it's not conducive to getting well.
Well, I don't really understand what exactly went wrong.
No.
What exactly happened to you, but
yeah.
It just seemed that you got overly nervous.
Right. Right.
Well, we would just like you to know that we're glad that you're home and feeling better and back at work.
Thanks.
And please come back soon.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Just pray that I don't. And I'm sure they all are. They're just kissing the ground that I'm out of there and hope that I never return. Hey, listen, I'm just telling it like it is, okay? I have no axe to grind. I have no reason to say things that didn't happen. I'm just telling it exactly what happened, and it's a major... Kendale Air Conditioning has a service that I'm telling you every hospital, I don't want to mention specific ones, every hospital should be required to do this like on a very regular basis. It's called the Biotech Duct Sanitizing System. And hospitals and laboratories, good ones that is, have been doing this for years. Why? Because viruses and other indoor pollutants can originate right inside those air ducts. Sanitizing is now considered essential. I mean, if you're just laying there or sitting around the house and you're inhaling round the clock all that crap, man, it's going to make you sick as hell. And sanitizing should be performed only by licensed air conditioning contractors, people who know what the hell they're doing, and that's Kendale. With over 12,000 customers all over South Florida, they're one of the largest residential air conditioning specialists in the entire area. And the Biotech system disinfects, it sanitizes, and reseals the entire inner surface, leaving your entire duct system like new. So when in doubt, clean it out, baby. Biotech eliminates microscopic algae spores, bacteria, mold, dust mites, mildew, disgusting, gross, nauseating, sickening odors. And it's especially great if you have an allergy sufferer in the house or office, too. Call Kendale Air Conditioning for a free estimate. And by the way, they're going to make sure that your air conditioning system is more efficient, too, when they're finished with this. So you're going to save money every month on that FP&L bill as well. Kendale Air Conditioning, 255-6439. There's no obligation. Call them today for a free estimate, 255-6439. When in doubt, clean it out.
Hank Goldberg is your host for another Goldberg at Night radio show tonight at 8.
News Talk Radio 610. Oh! WIOD. Tuesday.
Hi, I'm the Juicy Man.
Who can take an apple? Tuesday. A rutabaga too. Buy up all the time on the television tube and sell you a scam.
It's the life force, Richard, the life force.
Oh, the Juicy Man can.
Nature's nectar.
The Juicy Man can, 'cause he mixes at high speed and lets the juice come through. The Juicy Man makes all your wife's mistakes into something wet and quite suspicious. Everything the damn thing squishes. You can even juice your dishes. Who can take a chicken, feathers, feet, and head, separate the bladder and the spleen before it's dead? The Juicy Man can. Oh, the Juicy Man can.
Doesn't that taste wonderful? You got pounding headaches? Take a banana, a cucumber, 2 aspirins, and a hammer.
Juicy!
You got jock itch? Take a peach, kiwi fruit, 2 sweat socks, and a jock strap. Oh, don't throw away that old spare tire. Doesn't that just...
11:42 at WIOD. Here's a lady in the Gables. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I'm
Hi.
so glad that you made it back alive.
Yeah, just barely by the edge of my thing.
I hear you. I can empathize with you. 14 months ago, I went into the hospital to have a baby, and good Lord, between Nurse Ratchet and the doctor that barely made it there for the delivery, I was ready to crawl out the window and go home and do it myself.
Right.
It was awful. It was such an experience in such a nice hospital. I mean, the view is great, but who the hell cares, right?
Well, when you're on the way out, it's always nice having a good view.
Oh, I have always said that. But it was quite an experience, and I vowed never to go back again unless I was in a box.
Good.
And not able to
So I'm telling you, with all due respect to any hospitals, and there are a lot of good people and conscientious people, the best way to deal with hospitals is to stay out. That's the best way, safest way. Don't ever go in.
Don't ever go in unless it's to visit, and make sure you don't bend over.
Right.
You have your temperature taken, and they'll put.
Oh, I got a great little story for you. One of the nurses, she wasn't the regular nurse, but she was like whatever. Maybe she works like 1 day a week. She came in one evening, and she was going to take my temperature, and they had 2 different thermometers sitting inside those little things on the tray. Mm-hmm. And she kind of looked at my face, and then she kind of looked, And she looked at their thermometer. She said, well, like, which one is what? I said, both of them are like oral, okay? She said, oh, that's good. I didn't want to make a mistake and put the wrong one. I said, no, I'm not too crazy about that either, okay? I'm not into that.
Oh.
Do you see what? No, I'm not making that up. Serious. She thought one was a rectal thermometer and one was oral, and she just wanted to make sure which was which.
Scared of that.
Huh?
Scared of that.
Yeah, you bet.
Oh, good Lord. Well, at least you got out, and we're glad to have you back. At least I know I am.
Thanks.
Take care.
Have a great day.
You too.
1144 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751-DOCTOR, and one in Broward, 524 WIOD. Fort Lauderdale on the Star Line. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
No, I don't. Yeah. How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
What's happening? I'm sorry, I had a couple customers. Listen.
You had a couple of customers.
Yeah,
well,
I'm at the swap shop.
Take care of business,
Your
sir.
favorite place? That's okay. Listen, let's get to the crux of the issue.
Let's get to the meat of the matter, okay?
Your bosses are hurting. I'm outraged and appalled that they didn't check on you when you were sick in the hospital.
No, not in the least.
Are you sure? Are you sure you weren't on anesthesia or sick that you don't remember?
No.
That's gross.
I'm surprised I haven't had more calls about that. I can't get over it. I mean, even if they hate me like poison, which, believe me, the feeling is mutual, it's just the idea that, I mean, here they knew certainly that I was undergoing a really tough time because Cheryl was over there to visit, and, I mean, you know, I was like talking to people who work here, like George and Cheryl, but they certainly had to be aware that this was a horrendous experience. Not a card, not a note, not a flower, not up your ass, not anything.
Let me tell you something. I don't listen to Rick and Suds often, but I heard that phone call you made, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know it was you until after you hung up, and he started talking about it. I didn't recognize your voice.
I was so desperate that once I knew I was on the air, I was just going to blurt out anything that I could just to get the message across, because I really believed at that time that I would never get out. And after that phone call, which, needless to say, word spreads fast, all the PR people in the hospital started showing up, people who haven't even been invented yet. I mean, they were pouring into that room, and no matter who they were, the first thing I would say when they would, how are you doing, Mr. Rogers? I would say, I am never going to get out of here alive.
That's what you must have said it 4 times, and
I believed it. I swear to you, I really believed it.
Have you heard the call? Have they played the call for you at all?
Do we still have that?
You got it. You got to listen to you. It doesn't even sound like you. I didn't know it was you.
It was me.
And I've been listening to you for years. I had no idea who it was until after they made comments.
Yeah. I mean, I was practically in tears because the stuff that was going on was just so incredible. And they just had me convinced that I was going to die, and they sent me for this lung scan, and they strapped this thing around my head. And it just seemed like they were using me as some kind of a guinea pig. I felt like I was in Auschwitz or something.
Well, now you're back and alive. And
I'm doing it.
You sound better than ever.
Right.
Well, have some kishki and relax a little bit.
Okay.
And let me call 2 people douchebags if you would please.
Yes, sir.
Erwin, a major van parking douchebag, and Mark, a major alarm installing douchebag.
Oh! Okay.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
Okay, do some business.
Thanks.
1147 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward, 524, and the Star Line at Star IOD. This Saturday, by the way, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., going to be at Brands Mart in the Sawgrass. Going to be displaying the Sony Data Discman, which I have one. I'm going to take this home and just fiddle with it all evening. And believe me when I say that, the only thing I'm going to be fiddling with is the Discman. Boy, I'll tell you, it's going to, you know, you're lying there. And then, of course, all these like Omar who came in to wheel me down for my lung test and put me on the elevator, and you see these interesting people, and you're wondering to yourself, am I ever even going to be able to think about that again, or is that just totally out of the question? I mean, even just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, forget it. Part of your distant past. Here's a lady in Miami Beach.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Neil.
Yes.
I must ask you a question.
What is it?
How does it feel to get flowers and still be able to smell them?
What?
How does it feel to get a bunch of flowers in the hospital and be well enough to smell them?
Right.
Right?
Right.
A lot of people get them and they get smelled. I want to ask you something.
Yeah, I smelled a lot, believe me.
I bet you did.
Yeah.
Tell me this. Do you think it's easier to have door operations than to have a baby?
To have what?
To have a... You had a gallbladder, right?
Yeah, no, I had both. I had the gallbladder and the baby out. Okay. Good enema would help. Blackberry jam enema will do it, ma'am. Okay, trust me. Clean your brains out for at least another week. We have an open line at Dade, 751-WIOD. She's probably the one that sends all those letters that he keeps sticking up on. You notice he keeps putting up on the wall. It's from the same two old bags who've been writing the hate mail for 15 years. And boy, Gary keeps sticking that stuff up on the wall out there. Talk about a sadistic asshole. God, is he something. 11 minutes till noon at WIOD. The owner of a 1991 Porsche 911, just how good LoJack really works when his new car was stolen. Local police entered the stolen vehicle information about 1 p.m. on Monday, May 4th, just about a month ago. Just an hour and a half later, Hollywood police picked up the hidden LoJack transmitter signal, and 13 minutes after that, let me say it again, just 13 minutes later, they found the Porsche and set up a surveillance in hopes of breaking up a gang involved in the theft of expensive sports cars. The surveillance ended Thursday morning, and the car was recovered. The LoJack recovery was so fast that the cellular phone and 2 sets of expensive glasses were left untouched by the thieves. The cooling-off period is being used more and more by local car thieves to make sure their target doesn't have LoJack. So join the LoJack network. Ask your new car dealer to have LoJack installed when you buy your car. Or for additional information or to arrange for installation, call our good old pal Elaine toll-free right now at 1-800-53-LoJack. That's 1-800-535-6522. 1-800-535-6522. LoJack, the only security system that offers total protection, prevention, and recovery.
Catch the latest news, traffic, and weather info each morning with Mike Ranieri in the Morning Information Team just before the Neil Rogers Show.
He was his ward, not his pedophile.
11:52 at WIOD, and let's do a lady in Tamarack. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so glad you're back, and I just wanted to tell you, I call George every day for information on your condition.
Yeah.
Now, the management are sons of bitches, if I may say so.
Right.
They do not, this is supposed to be your station for news.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give one word about
Well, how could they give a word? Because they weren't in contact with me, so what was the word? How could they give? They didn't care.
This is like a dear friend being in the hospital and you are unaware of what's going on.
Yeah.
They really put us through. What do they think? We're idiots to listen to repeats just in case they deign to put your condition on. I am so furious at them. And George was the only one who would explain what was going on.
Right.
At your station for news. You know what they can do with their news.
That's my opinion. I'm Mike Disney.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're back, and I love you, and I'm glad you're healthy, and everything is fine.
Thanks a lot. And if you ever do get sick, God forbid, don't count on Mike Disney to be at your side, okay?
Okay, thank you, Neil.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Sons of bitches, she said. That might be pretty strong language, but she sure is getting close. We have an open line at Broward. No, we don't, in the out-of-town line. You mean up in Palm Beach they don't care? I'm dead or alive? Well, they're listening, I guess. They can tell the difference, can't they? 1-800-944 WIOD, 1-800-944-9463. Why isn't it a law in the state of Florida that every time you get a prescription, you must get the package insert so you can read the information, okay? Why are you people such guinea pigs, and why do you allow these doctors and pharmacists to diddle you around like some kind of morons? Why? God, where is Bob Mendelsohn when we need him? I'll tell you where he is. He's dead. He was so right. Boy, if ever a man told it like it was, he was the guy. And if anybody out there has got that book that he wrote called, the first one was Confessions of a Medical Heretic, but the one about hospitals I think was called Temple of Doom, about hospitals and what they do to you there and about all the iatrogenic diseases that people get from being in a hospital. If anybody's got a copy of that, I sure would love to have it. I'd give almost anything for that, like at least $1. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Neil.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Great. Get off that speakerphone, sir.
Yeah, speakerphone.
Come on, get with it. Get with it. Come on.
Why, you don't want a speakerphone?
No. You're going to get on a real phone?
Oh, want me to?
Yeah.
All right, here I come.
Come on.
All right, here I am.
Okay, jeez.
How's it going?
The speakerphone was almost better than this. No wonder you use the speakerphone. Your phone sucks.
Well, so it's not my phone. It's my friend's phone.
Your friend's phone sucks. Tell him to get a new one. Tell him.
Chris, your phone sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So what's up?
I get on another phone if you want me to.
No, that's okay.
Don't think so?
No.
The Cubs suck, Neil.
No, they don't. We're hot.
They're hot.
We're doing it. We're right up there with the pathetic Mets.
Oh.
And have a nice life. Open line in Broward, 524 WIOD. Here's a lady in Hallandale. Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
Listen, Neil, so many people try to reach you, and when I called Mount Sinai, I think I had somebody who was brain dead. I said, Neil Rogers, please give me his room number. She looked it up. She said, he's not here. And I
I wasn't there under that name. I was under my real name.
I see.
And I told them, I said, if people call for my real name, then fine. It's somebody I know and want to talk to.
Yes.
But if people call for Neil Rogers, absolutely. And then one night they started putting callers through. I felt like I was doing a talk show. I had 3 in a row, and they were putting callers through.
Well, I figured that because the whole world would be calling you. But
yeah,
all
wouldn't
I
that have been
wanted
great?
Was the chance to send a card or something. And that dear man, who is really a great friend, Craig Worthing,
yes,
he kept us posted.
Well, I forgot to mention that. I want to thank Craig. You know, he drove me down to all the way. He lives in Boca, and he came down and picked me up last Friday and drove me all the way down to my doctor's, to Dr. Unger's office, because I had to have the staples removed. You know, they staple you now. They don't sew you up anymore with stitches.
That must be lovely.
No, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad, although it's a little uncomfortable once they're, like, protruding and you're walking around like some kind of a robot. But he drove me all the way down there and back home, and I want to thank him. He's a super guy.
He's 1 in a million.
Yeah.
To talk of a little happiness, and you deserve it. You know, yesterday in the Miami Herald, the Gulfstream Park had the little price schedule for accommodations
for the Breeders' Cup,
breeders.
yeah.
And you're worth $176 for a trackside table. You want to go? I thought certainly something like that would turn a smile. Do you like the
$176?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Oh, that's
on Saturday, the big day.
Yeah.
And if you have, I think, 8 or 10 in your party, it's a little bit better rate.
Mm-hmm.
But do you enjoy the flats as much as you do the trotters?
No.
I thought not.
No.
You used your own trotters, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we can get a group together, wouldn't it be great, 10 or 20 real degenerates to go to the Breeders' Cup?
Yeah, I'd love it.
As you say, now that the worst is behind you, let's get a life.
Right.
Okay? And
thanks.
Good recovery, Neil.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. 11:58. As a matter of fact, speaking of how much I enjoyed the trotters, Fat Rich picked me up and drove me up and back Friday and Saturday night to Pompano Park. How do you like that? And Friday, I had a very pleasant experience, won a few bucks. Saturday night, a much less pleasant experience. It lost a few bucks, although that wasn't the part that was less pleasant. The part was that people come and they say hello, and that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Joel and Rich were there, Frankenstein or whatever his name is now.
WIOD, the Neil Rogers Show.
I was riding on a train to Austin, Texas. Oh, when a very lovely lady sat next to me. When she got up to eat, she asked if I would hold her sight. I was more than happy to, and now there's more I'd like to do. I want to kiss her, but she won't let me. I want to whisper sweet nothings in her ear. I want to hold her behind closed doors and more. I want to kiss her, but she won't let me. When she returned, she said she was an actress. She showed me an album of pictures of her opening, which she'd been sitting on. She seemed as sweet as she could be, but I could clearly see she was the kind of girl who stole men's hearts, then wrecked them. I want to kiss her, but she won't let me. I want to whisper sweet nothings in her ear.
Thank you.
I want to hold her behind closed doors and more. I want to kiss her, but she won't let me. Well, I train ride down to Austin. We shared a seat and we shared our tales. But as my heart tries to leave her behind, regrets are all I find. 'Cause I'd hoped I'd get that girl in the end. I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me. I wanna whisper sweet nothings in her ear. I wanna hold her behind closed doors and more. I wanna kiss her, but I wanna kiss her, but I wanna kiss her, but she won't let me.
Well, it's another Sleepy Monday in Dry Gulch. 1208 at WIOD. We got 3 open lines on the board. Hey, things haven't changed a damn bit, have they? 2 of them in Broward, 524, and 1 on the out-of-town line, 1-800. What's it all about, Alfie? Pembroke Pines on, that's another good thing about my vision, you know, is like all blurred up now. And it probably after like, what, 6-7 months, it'll start like all readjusting and the body parts will start falling back into place. Pembroke Pines.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Glad to hear you back on the air.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I know you're not much into basketball, but did you see last night's game?
No, but I certainly saw the aftermath and all the barbarians
that's
up
what I'm
in
talking
Chicago.
about.
Every time Detroit had happened and Pittsburgh had happened, every time a team wins a championship, then a bunch of assholes come out and just go crazy and tear the city apart and burn cars on fire and ripped what the hell's it all about? What is it all about?
What I was talking about is Bob Costas in the locker room.
Yeah.
Neil, the guy's about 5'4".
Yeah.
Interviewing these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was hysterical. Pouring champagne on his head.
Was he on a stepladder?
No. That's the sad part.
I think it would have been great if Michael Jordan would have picked his ass up and slam dunked him through the basket.
I think he wanted to get in the shower with Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's sitting there with his phony interviewing. You know, he's just looking for someone to interview because everyone's just walking by him. And then you see Bill Cartwright walking by, and he goes,
where's Bill Cartwright? Where's Bill Cartwright?
Bill Cartwright comes walking up. Have you ever heard that man speak, Neil?
No.
You ever heard Froggy on the Little Rascals?
Yeah.
Bill Cartwright comes up.
Well, it's been great to be repeating. Now we're up there with Detroit and the Lakers. And
Neil, unbelievable. These guys are just freaks of nature.
I'm sure glad it's over, I'll tell you that.
Neil, baseball season,
yeah.
My Royals, I'm the one that calls.
Well, congratulations. You guys are just shocking. And I can't believe Rick Sutcliffe's got 9 wins. It's enough to make me wish I was back in a hospital again.
And Danny Jackson's tearing up the league.
Danny Jackson is God, man.
Maybe things are looking up, Neil.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're right on the edge.
All right, Neil. You take care. Work out, Bob. You're a douchebag.
Good luck to you.
All right, Neil.
See ya. 10 afternoon at WIOD. Half the board is empty already, so I guess the audience has shot their respective wad, huh? They've done it. Well, what do you want me to say? I mean, look at that. Is that a pretty sad commentary or what? We're into our 3rd big hour on Return Monday here. Well, it's Monday. It wasn't a good idea to come back on a Monday. You should know Mondays are rough. Come back like on a Wednesday or someday when it's convenient for the audience to call in and tell you whatever the hell they want to say. Yeah, right. 2 open lines in Broward. Let's go. Let's go. Let's show us you're alive, for God's sakes. Oh, God, this town is hopeless. 524 WI. Are these lines working? Come on. Oh, you got to be joking me. Are these really working or what? God, they're just absolutely heartless. And I'm actually laying there in a hospital thinking that somebody gives a crap, that I'm going to get a phone call from somebody in a position of authority in this place who gives a flying crap. I must be dreaming. It must have been from the anesthesia. I must have still been hallucinating the whole time I was in there. Speaking of hallucinogens, I almost thought that we had a call from Ponytail, you know. There's another guy. Absolutely not a word, not a card, not a pizza. That would have been great. Do you know what I would have done for a slice of pizza when I was in that place? Oh, God, what that would have done to my whole system. You'll find the world's best pizza at the Pizza Loft. Everyone is cooked to order. Never made conveyor belt style. Everything over there at the Pizza Trough is made with tender care and love, and they put a whole bunch of crap in it. Italian specialties like their award-winning lasagna and stuffed shells and manicotti and baked ziti and their famous eggplant parmesan and that great Fugaza pizza, which is some really unique stuff made with those great spicy onions and special spicy sauce. You've never tasted anything like it in your life. If you have any kind of a party coming up, they'll cater it for you for as little as $4 per person. And because Jeff wants to retire at a very early age and go fishing with all the dolphins every day, they never close. I mean, every holiday, no matter what it is, they're going to be open for you, serving up their great homemade Italian goodies and the best pizza in town. Here's a number to call for deliveries, or if you'd like to call ahead and have your order piping hot and ready when you get there, 266-5111. And if you're really nice to Jeff, he'll even let you dine in the prestigious Neil Rogers dining room. 266-5111 for the Pizza Loft upstairs at 69th and Flagler in Miami, just east of the Palmetto Expressway.
The opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of 610 WIOD or its sponsors.
Okay, there's our disclaimer that we play every 30 seconds because the management of the station thinks the show is gross and they want to make sure that you understand they have nothing to do with it. What are you eating now? God, just eating and eating and eating and eating. What the hell is it? Since you came in here today, you haven't stopped eating. You started out with Sonny very early. And what happened to the other sandwich? You ate them both? You ate 2 sandwiches? They brought across here, what was that, corned beef? See, why is that necessary? I mean, I appreciate it, but if you're going to bring me a sandwich, why does it have to have 30 pounds of meat in it, okay? Why does it have to be so big that only false teeth will go around it? You have to be able to remove your teeth from your mouth to get them around the sandwich. What does that prove? Why does anybody need so much meat? Right? Exactly. Nobody needs all that meat. So what is it now you're eating after too long? What? Chicken. Oh, it's the company lunch day. Okay. Yeah, well, if ever there was a chicken operation, there's a word missing in there, but if ever there was one, this is the place. Boynton on the Star Line.
Hello?
Yes.
Neil.
Hi.
Hi, I'm a first-time caller, and I
Great.
wanted to call in and say hello. We're driving down into Miami from the Keys. We just got over the 7-mile bridge.
Driving down into Miami from the Keys?
Yes.
You mean you're driving up into Miami from the Keys? Why do people always do that? Like they say they're in Miami, they say, oh, I'm going down to New York this weekend.
I don't know.
Well, how come it says Boynton Beach on here?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know?
Nope.
Oh.
But I wanted to tell you we had a great time in the Keys, and except for this one part where we got thrown out of this store, I have a high that I wear around my neck.
You have hives?
I have a high. It's a
high?
Jewish symbol, yes.
A high?
Yes.
Not a high.
A high.
High.
Right.
No, not a high. And what about it?
Well, this jerk, the guy who owns the store, threw us out.
Why?
He said we should go across the street to the Jews across the street who own that store.
Well, wasn't that nice?
Yeah. So
tell him there are already too many goyim in the world, okay?
I wanted to call him a douchebag.
Okay. See ya. What a call. Is that kind of like leave you just scratching your thing and wondering what that was all about? George is scratching a chicken bone in there right now. At least it looks like a chicken bone. 1217 at WIOD. We have an open line on the Star Line at Star IOD. Here's Maria.
Yes.
Maria.
Oh,
I just had a bout of Maria.
God, I'm telling you, the airwaves were barren without you.
Maria, let me tell you something. The airwaves in this town are so barren that it's embarrassing. Okay, this market is on a par with Ocala, Florida. That's the level of entertainment on the radio in this market. I see Steve Ziegler walking down the hall, and I want to tell him that we have a problem in our pot, and I want the engineering people to get their act together and clean up our pot.
I have it on good authority. The reason that management didn't send you flowers and
they should only rot. They should only rot. They should only die a wicked death.
A higher authority told me.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I hate to interrupt you before you go on.
Yeah.
Cheryl, by the way, I know this is out today. I hope she's not feeling ill or something. What, she is here now? I have good news and bad news, Cheryl. The good news is my mother brought me a whole thing full of mandel bread to bring in for Cheryl today. The bad news is I ate it.
It's all gone.
I ate all of it.
Good for you.
A whole bag full. It was great.
Oh, gosh. Well, anyway, higher authority told me the reason they didn't send you flowers,
yes,
you're going to get a big, fat salary increase.
Oh, Maria, you really have a sense of humor, don't you? Yeah. Yeah,
well,
you're a real comedian.
Maybe I'll put a bug up, well,
Yeah. How about putting your foot up his, that would be even better, okay? Say, this is from Neil.
Right. Anyway, welcome back, dear.
Thanks, Maria.
Just keep on.
Okay.
Okay, love.
Bye.
Bye.
Boy, she does have a sense of humor, huh? Open line in Dade, 751-WIOD. Here's, boy, I sure wish I could read the screen. Plantation, hello.
Hello.
What was that?
I don't know.
Frankie?
Mom, I'm on the phone.
I know you are.
Frankie, he's on the phone on the radio right
Get
now.
off the phone, please.
He's on the radio.
Hello?
He's an important radio caller now, and Mama's on there potchking around on your call.
Hey, Neil.
Jeez,
Good to have you
Mom.
back.
Huh? Thanks.
Listen, I got a beef in Plantation.
Yes.
Got a comment to make. There's this guy across the street. We had a party about a week ago.
Yeah.
Accidentally left the car across the sidewalk for a night.
Yeah.
He calls the cops the next day.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So I'm in my
Sourpuss.
house. The cops come. The cops on me, and I got a $30 ticket.
Yeah.
I just want to call-
For what?
For having the car over the sidewalk. You're
Well,
not allowed to.
excuse us, sir, okay? Excuse us for ruining your pathetic, old, decaying life. What a pathetic guy that is.
I mean, this is Plantation, you know?
Yeah, figures, yeah.
Republican.
Right.
Yes, I just wanted to call him a douchebag.
Okay. Don't do it again, Frankie.
All right.
Tell Mom to stay off the phone.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
All right.
See ya. 20 afternoon at WIOD. Now we're starting to get some good calls, damn it. Including Maria with her sense of humor about they're going to give me a big raise, which is why they didn't bother to send me a pansy or two or anything like that.
This was supposed to be spontaneous, guys. We don't need to hook up wireless mics and strap the bartenders down. Hold on just a second here.
Well, bartenders are busy, man.
Okay. Oh, we can hear you good, Marvin.
Hey, Marvin.
Okay, we got a shot of, tell him, a shot of Cuervo Gold.
Okay, now you need to get a shot of Kahlua. Not a shot, but a splash of Kahlua.
Un drinko especial. Oh, translator.
That Miami Spanish goes a long way here, doesn't it?
Oh, man. Hey, make that 2 con drinkos.
Hear Rick and Suds this Monday afternoon on South Florida's news, traffic, and weather station, News Talk Radio 610 WIOD. Catch the latest news, traffic, and weather info each morning with Mike Granary and the Morning Information Team just before the Neil Rogers Show.
Booga booga. 1225 at WIOD, and we need to get our pot cleaned. Hear that? We got a dirty, rusty, disgusting pot. All it takes is one of those little spritzers, okay? Where do you spritz it, though? Let's take the whole board apart right on the ear here. Let's just unscrew it and rip all the guts out. Kind of like being in the hospital. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're back. But I have a little story to relate
I'm
to
almost glad I'm back, and that's saying a lot.
Well, I had a similar experience. I went into the hospital on Friday for a very routine procedure of blasting a kidney stone with a laser.
Ooh.
And it was sheer horror.
Ooh. I didn't know they could do that with kidney stones.
Well, I'm telling you, they put some kind of a tube up in me all the way to my kidney that's called a stent, and it feels like it's made out of cactus. And I've suffered the whole weekend, sick from the anesthesia, pain from the thing, and
well, wait a minute.
I feel just like you do about doctors and hospitals.
You had a local or general
No, I
anesthesia?
had general.
Oh, you had general. Oh, man.
And I came home the next day, but I've been sick.
You've been what?
I've been sick the whole weekend. I'm seeing
So
the
what
doctor.
happened? Did they get the stone at least?
They broke it up, but I mean, I got to have this tube taken out today, and they talk like it was thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I can certainly...
Piece of cake. Anybody that says piece of cake, just run the other direction screaming and yelling.
Oh, my God, if I ever get another stone, I want somebody to shoot me.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tell you I understand how you feel. I'm going through the same thing. Hoping I'll get relief when they take this tube out.
Well, they're not going to have to put you under anesthesia again.
I don't know, but I don't think it's going to feel good. I'm going at 2:30.
Are you serious?
Not to the hospital. They're going to do it in the office.
Oh, no. Boy.
But it's just been like a lost weekend for me, so
Yeah.
I know what you went through.
Well, good luck.
Well, thank you.
Save the tube for posterity.
Okay, glad you're back.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Piece of cake, nothing to it, boy. No problem. Yeah, you tell him, Rich. 1227 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 7519. Actually, a piece of cake sounds pretty good right now. Piece of anything sounds pretty good right now. Do we have anything that I like in there? God, I gave away the sandwich because it was big enough for a horse, and I don't want to start... Just because my gallbladder's out right now and I don't have to watch what I eat so much is not an excuse for me to start ballooning up to a giant... What is in that? That's the sandwich? Well, I might take half of that. There's just too much meat, you know? I mean, if it's good meat, that's great, but too much meat is not good. Believe me, take it from somebody who knows. Just the right amount of meat is where it's at. Not all that meat. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Hi.
Welcome back, sir.
Yes, sir.
What a week.
What a week?
Who puts together the best of Neil?
George puts together.
Oh. What does he do? Just randomly pick out a day or something?
He said you're number 1 and number 2 and number 3. How do you like that?
Am I wrong?
Are you wrong about what?
Am I wrong?
I don't. Well, wait a minute. Do you think that while I was going through the most... Do you think that I ever turned the station on even once? Not a chance. Not for a moment. I never gave it a thought. See, you know what bothers me about this place? I realize it's a business, and I realize they pay me a lot of money. But you know something? It may come as a shock to some of these grave robbers here. There are more important things in everybody's life than WIOD or any other radio or television. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, if you feel like your whole life is flashing before your eyes, the last thing you're all concerned about is what kind of manure they're going to slab on here for 4 hours to fill in the time.
Sure.
Because I know them. They'll throw anything in there. They'll throw tapes of Grandma Moses farting on the air for 4 hours if that'll fill the time. And they can get away with it. They don't care.
Not one time during the week was there any, during that time, was there any update or anything like that? That was very frustrating.
Well, that's very nice, isn't it?
It's very, actually, it was frustrating.
Isn't it interesting that I had to call in from the hospital and beg to get a... Oh, and you want to hear the best part? I call in Marvin. Here's another thing that goes on in this station. I had talked to Rick off the air at about 1:45, okay, because I was really frantic. I really felt like somebody needed to know I wanted to get out of there. So I call in about 10 minutes after 2. And as usual, and I don't know what the bat line number is. I've forgotten it long ago. I call in on a regular call-in line, day line, right? And the same old crap with Marvin. WIOD, please hold. And he puts me on hold. I don't even get a chance. I'm like, Marvin, it's me. But no chance. I'm on hold, and I'm sitting listening to the pre-delay or whatever. I mean, I just can't believe what goes on in this radio station. If you had like a life-and-death emergency and you didn't know the bat line, and you called up and you wanted to talk to somebody off the air, please hold, and you're sitting there listening to Manavani or whatever it is. I mean, what kind of crap is that?
Well, I was thinking earlier when you said you hadn't heard from Disney or any of those other guys.
No.
I think of my position. I think of most other people who are employed by someone. If I were to have gone through the same thing that you did, you know damn well that I'd hear from my employer.
You know what really cracks me up? Do you remember when they were squeezing the 9:30 to 10 half hour out of me? Mm-hmm. And the rationale was because I was so important to WIOD that it was just essential for me to do that extra half hour, even though it was... Yeah, I was so important. I was important enough to get the extra half hour out so I could goose the ratings up and bolster up that pathetic hour in there, but I'm not important enough that even like a phone call, and you know how far it is from here to Mount Sinai? Do you know how far it is? I mean, WIOD is in North Bay Village on the Kennedy Causeway out here. Mount Sinai Hospital is, you could throw a rock from here to where it is on Miami Beach. Okay?
Now, pox on them. They should, quite honestly, they should be embarrassed to pass you in the hall for the next...
Exactly.
Millennium.
Let them pass this.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Hey. Yeah. It's good to hear you back.
Thanks.
Take care.
See ya. 12:31. They may not be good, but at least what are you going to do? Just sit that in the window there for the next hour and a half? Maybe I'd like to pause.
I have soup. I have the sandwich. Or
I don't want any. Do you think I want more soup? It was very good, but listen, one trip downstairs, I'm in a weakened condition. I can't keep running up and down the stairs like the good old days with the green apple. Oh, and let me tell you the best story, okay? See, you think that you've heard all the stories. I got millions of stories, and each one of them is true. I want you to listen to this very carefully. George, you were a witness. The day before I go in for my surgery was a Thursday, right? A week ago Thursday. Do you remember Jim Can't Find the Remedy came in here and brought me a little special gift that day? Remember those chocolates? You remember that little box from the nut place up there? And he says to me, don't worry, this has no sugar in it, it's not regular chocolate, and also it doesn't have any sorbitol. Okay? Now, keep in mind, this is the day before I'm going to go in for my surgery, in which case you want to be in your strongest. You certainly don't want to be in a weakened condition. You don't want to have the green apple quick step all afternoon and evening on the day before you go in for your surgery, feeling like you have no energy in your body. Well, guess what? It may not have been sorbitol, but it was some tall to make the short and the tall and the long of it, because from about an hour after I got home that afternoon until I can remember, I had an experience which you can't even begin to imagine, okay, from those candies. They opened my body up like somebody had stuck gigantic, like a pitchfork, in my colon. So thanks a lot. Jim can't find the remedy for making me like... I was in a panic. I thought, oh, geez, I sure hope at least this ends before I have to go in for the surgery, which I had to do the first thing the next morning. Oh, man. Thanks a lot, Remedy Man. You guys back there continue to be the best. They are just, they're indescribable. They're just continuing to play with my life and my body. Just leave me alone. Do not bring me any more food. Do not bring me any more anything. Just stay away from my face and stay away from my life and go out there and write a bunch of bogus contracts and leave us alone, is what I say. It's a good pastrami sandwich from Sonny's this morning, and the soup was great, only too much, so I took like all the excess meat off of there, and I got about 1.5 pounds extra. Why do places do that? Can you explain to me why like some of the deli-type places, I don't want to mention their names, and they have the big sandwiches, and they're like, there's like 4 times more meat than there needs to be. Like, oh, look what we're giving you for your money, okay? That's why the sandwich is like $9.95. I don't want to pay $10 for a sandwich, okay? How about giving me a sandwich for like $3.95 and give me like a third or a half of all that meat? I don't need all that meat. Nobody in the world needs all that meat. You're poisoning us. You're tearing our kishkis out with those gigantic, obnoxious, self-indulgent concoctions. Why? Why are you doing that to us? And as far as Norm Kent is concerned, let me say it again, doctors and lawyers are the absolute scourge of American society. They are destroying our world, the planet in which we live. It's a disgrace. And how come instead of wasting his time playing radio on a make-believe radio station, talking to Alta Cockers every day and pretending to be something that he's not, why isn't this man out there fighting the evils of the medical profession like the late Henry Rothblatt? God, do we need another Henry Rothblatt to come back on air and scream, Doctor! Doctor, where's your conscience, Doctor? He was the best. He was the greatest. We need another Henry Rothblatt, not these wimps out there who are busy running around trying to be overgrown baseball players. We need people who give a damn about protecting the public and about correcting the injustices of mankind. That's what we need, Norm. Here's a lady in Kendall.
Hi, how you doing, Neil?
I'm doing fine.
Hi, I'm glad to hear you're back, and I just wanted to call and say I have a theory as to why your managers didn't call to check up on you.
What is that?
Because they're very jealous of you, and they're happy when they see you down.
Right. Absolutely.
They're
you are
happy when they see you down.
Right.
Hi, I just wanted to I wanted to call somebody a douchebag who's going around here assassinating my character.
Okay.
His name is Carlton, and I want to call him the douchiest, nasty of the bags.
That's my opinion. I'm Mike Disney.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a great day. 1241 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751. I'll tell you, the only thing they care about in this radio station is whether you come to the Christmas party and suck around. I'm serious. That's the only thing they care about, all right? They don't give a damn if you're dying, if you're lying, if you're alive, if you're dead. All they care about is if you like play along and suck around and suck up to a bunch of people that hate you like poison, and a few of them you hate them like poison. Come around and pretend, okay? Put on this big plastic front for us. That's all they care about. If you come to the Christmas party and suck around a lot, then they like you. Oh, what a great guy, man. Let's take his mother to lunch again. So I hope Cheryl got the message about all that delicious mandel bread that my mother brought yesterday. A whole bag full. And my mother and my aunt left after a nice lunch and a nice gathering. That was a little bit too long, but... And from the time they left to the time I went to bed, just slowly but surely, I ate it all. You just can't eat only 2 or 3 pieces of mandel bread. You have to eat the whole bag full. It was delicious, Cheryl. Hollywood.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Great.
Hey, how's Mom doing anyway?
She's crazy as ever.
Because I heard on that best of, I guess last time the air conditioner was out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I even heard Grandma Moses farting a couple times on that show.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to be taking excerpts of that for the next tape.
Yeah, really. Yeah, this is your chronic deadbeat pal from California.
Yeah.
What's going on? Did you get my card?
About what? By the way, thanks to everybody who sent cards. There were like jillions of cards and notes and stuff, and that was very nice. Certainly more than I got from this place.
Yeah, that's really appalling, man.
I'm going to keep mentioning it for about a week till I get it out of my system. I mean, I grant you it's not a big deal, but it's just common sense. It's just common courtesy. If the janitor had a hangnail and was in a hospital for 2 days, they would send him a card.
Not as much as a phone call?
Nothing.
That's sick.
Nothing.
That's pretty bad.
And especially you would think after last Monday when I made that frantic call when I'm not joking, I really was desperate. I was praying somebody would just come over there and kind of run interference to save me from what they were trying to do to me over there.
Well, maybe they'll think about it now.
Yeah.
Hey,
hold your breath. I'll let you know when to exhale.
Really? Hey, how big and how many were there, man? I didn't...
I have no idea.
Oh, they didn't tell you?
Rick and Suds have a better idea because they evidently got a call from somebody who was, some kid who was in on a procedure over there, somebody in OR.
Well, they have like a squirt-by-squirt...
a squirt-by-squirt description, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been something good to, have a betting line on or something.
Right. I think they, in fact, they were doing that the day before I went, as I was driving home that afternoon getting the sorbitol out of my system.
Huh.
I heard they were doing that, the over and unders.
Felix Unger?
No, Dr. Harold Unger.
Anyway, all right. Hey, we're glad you're back, Neil. My dog needs a walk, so I got to go.
Okay.
All right.
Good luck. Hope it all comes out okay. 1244 WIOD. Yeah, my mom took care of my dogs for a couple of days, got pretty cozy with them, as a matter of fact. Kind of took over my entire household. But I don't want to get into that. And I come home Tuesday morning, I practically break out of the hospital. I drive up to my house, and my mother's car and my maid's car are there side by side. Does that indicate you that there's trouble already? Oh, man. She has taken my maid's name and address and shoe size and breast implants and, I mean, everything that's ever been invented, and it got better from there. Here's a lady from Cocoa Plum. Hello? The lady from Cocoa Plum is gone? Well, up yours, honey, okay? I'm really so sorry that you had to wait more than 30 seconds to get on the air. People who do that, I'm telling you, somebody should come along and just strap them to a hospital bed and force them to undergo every invasive procedure that's ever been invented and maybe try a few new ones, as in like, hey, probe this, huh? We have an open line in Dade, 751 WIOD. Let's do Miami. Hello?
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Great, pal.
Great. I saw you Tuesday morning going down Palmetto. I was the crazy fool in the Subaru. Remember, you were getting onto the turnpike.
Going down to Palmetto.
Going down 95, getting onto the turnpike, and I was getting onto the Palmetto.
Tuesday?
Yeah, when you were coming home from the hospital.
Oh, you mean going up? See, there you're doing it again. Going up the thing.
Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, right.
No, you were coming home from the hospital.
Right.
And I was going to work.
I remember.
Yeah, I was
just
like
vaguely. I was so dizzy I didn't know what planet I was on.
Yeah, you didn't look too hot then.
I bet I wasn't driving too good either.
Yeah,
I remember.
I saw the vet and I said, man, that looks like Neil's. But I said to myself, well, yeah, he's still in the hospital. I didn't think it would be you. And then
that was me, all right.
Yeah, when I saw you, I was like, whoa, there he is. So how you feeling?
I'm not doing too bad.
Oh, that's good.
I'm glad to be alive. You know what?
Yeah.
Makes you really appreciate the fresh air and the flowers and whatever else you got.
Yeah, that's great. I still can't believe your company didn't, take care of you. Say hello or...
Nothing.
That's terrible.
Zero. They still haven't.
Yeah, right. Well, okay, I just wanted to wish you my best.
Okay, thanks a pile.
Yeah, bye-bye.
See ya. 1246 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade here at All Heart Radio where we care enough to send our very best. Not.
Got those slow-moving, brake-dragging, bumper-to-bumper blues? Must be you're stuck in traffic right now. I guess you missed that traffic report on 610 WIOD. Stop singing and stay tuned to 610 WIOD for Skywatch 610 traffic updates. Heard each day from the morning into the afternoon and throughout the night. Skywatch 610 traffic from South Florida's news, traffic, and weather station. News Talk Radio, 610 WIOD, and bust the bumper-to-bumper blues. There's plenty of baseball action this weekend right here. Join us Saturday and Sunday for the best American and National League games.
1250, 10 till 1 at WIOD. Man, I'm feeling better now. You know why? It's almost 1 o'clock, and by just before 2 o'clock, I'm going to be feeling great. Miami, hello.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Two things.
Yes.
You and the Mets are tied.
Mm-hmm.
And since you've been gone, Danny Jackson has won 2 games in a row.
Can I ask you a question? How is it that Pirates lost 13 out of 16 games and they're 700 games ahead now? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, and Jim LaFay is crying because of what's his name?
Jim who?
Jim LaFay, whoever the hell his name is.
LaFay?
Yeah, well, I'm a Yankee fan. I don't care about the Pirates anyway. But Bobby Bonds hurt his back. He strained a muscle in his right side. Well,
Bobby Bonds or Barry Bonds?
Barry, Bobby, same difference. You know what I'm talking about.
Boy, you know your baseball. You ought to be doing our sports talk show, you know it?
And another thing about the medication you were giving it, don't blame it on the people in the pharmacy department, because my better half works there.
Because what?
My better half works at Mount Sinai.
I didn't get it from Mount Sinai. I got it from the pharmacy where I get my... What does that got to do with anything?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. But Danny Jackson's won 2 in a row since you've been sick. Does that give you a hint?
You said that already.
Oh, okay. Have a nice day. I hope you feel better.
Thanks. Boy. 12:52 at WIOD here at the Heinrich Himmler School of Better Health and Healing. We have an open line in Dade, 751-FEEL-THIS. And here's... what? I can't read this at all. I mean, I can, but I have to, like my... In other words, the whole vision pattern is changed, which is good because I have these great progressive lenses. I just have to, like, put my head up like a bird. Oh, hey, there you are. So, like, if I'm going to see you, you have to stand on the ceiling. West Palm Beach.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, Neil, the Mets rule the National League East.
Yeah, that's obvious.
You see them take care of the Pirates the last 2 weeks?
They did it, boy. They are really smoking.
It's all part of the master plan, you see?
Give them a false sense of security.
Right, exactly.
And then when they least expected, win a game.
You think Jeff Torborg's going to be the manager after the All-Star break?
I think Howard Johnson couldn't hit you with a bat from 2 feet away. That's what I think.
That's all right. Next year they're going to sign Puckett and Bonds, and they'll be okay.
Okay.
See you later. Hey, good luck. I hope you feel better.
Thanks. I noticed, by the way, George Steinbrenner, I mentioned this for my good, close personal friend Alan J. Finkelson, and thanks again. Pompano Park sent me this beautiful, gigantic fruit basket with lots of, I mean, like with good stuff in it. You know, sometimes people send you stuff like that, and it's like all this artsy-fartsy. It's stuff you throw away. It's dreck. But this was great, and I really appreciated that. But what I started to mention is that Alan's great personal friend, George Steinbrenner, thought he was going to muscle his way back in and get permission to start potchking around with the Yankees again next year. And lo and behold, at the very last moment, comes to find out that all these people are ready to step forward and testify that he was, like, already involved when he wasn't supposed to be. And, like, not so fast, Fay. If Fay Vincent isn't the worst commissioner of baseball in the history of the game, I'd sure like to know who was, I'll tell you that. He is a disgrace. He is a disgrace. Never trust a man named Fay. I'll tell you that right now. A little piece of personal advice. Do not trust anybody named Fay. Boca.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I want to know the day that article from New York Times about the doctor's botched surgery.
It was in yesterday's Sun Sentinel, page 3A.
Thanks. My sister was in the hospital for a gallbladder.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened. They punctured her lung. She was on a respirator for
punctured
3 days.
her lung?
Punched her? Yep. Right through it.
Oh. And so what happened?
We almost lost her.
Are you serial?
Yeah.
Jeez. It's a piece of cake.
And that was in Baltimore, though.
Yeah.
Mount Sinai.
Incredible.
So go Orioles.
Okay. Good luck to you. See ya. That was the best call we've had in years on this show. That was great. I like his style. We have an open... See, in spite of all adversity, you just have to look at the good things in life. That's what they say in a hospital when you're lying there in a pool of your own blood. We have an open line on the out-of-town line. Like lunch is only minutes away. That's always a good thing. I mean, the stuff that they bring you, I wouldn't... See, I haven't even scratched the surface. I didn't mention about the morning that the blood test results showed my blood sugar was 300, which is very high. And they were bringing me, like, apple juice and ice cream. And, of course, I'm diabetic, so that made all the sense in the world. Let's see if we can't get it up to maybe 500 and then put him into a diabetic coma just to make it perfect. That would be a good idea. And, of course, my panic doctor, I don't want to mention which one that was, but Dr. Panic across the street, and he's giving me insulin. And I said, I don't want insulin. Don't you understand? I don't take insulin. Nah, just one time, okay? I mean, he goes into such a panic, and that's what I like, is that good, calm, reassuring bedside manner, like, "Hey, Neil, you're gonna die." That's what I like. Seriously, that's just exactly what you need when you're lying there helpless in the hospital, and like your whole life is flashing before your eyes. You need somebody who is absolutely overreacts and gets you crazy. I mean, even in high anxiety, Mel Brooks never saw anything like what I'm not. You're laughing. I'm not exaggerating. Oh, you're bleeding inside. Oh, your lungs, blood clots. Aye. Right. Hey, I feel better already just having you around, Doc. Just hold my hand and, oh, God. On second thought, hold this. We have an open line in Dade, 751-WIOD, and one on the out-of-town line, 1-800-allergic reaction. I think that's what I'm having the whole audience, an allergic reaction. Here's a pig report in Pompano.
The top of the morning, or top of the afternoon to you, Neil.
Yes, sir, whatever it is.
Best for your health. We all just hope that you're healing up. In fact, you know what? I called the station last week.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a lot of information.
To find out, well, actually, I don't know who I spoke with, but it just rang quick. Somebody finally picked it up. And I just wanted to find out if they had any knowledge of what was going on and all. And they said, yeah, we talk to them all the time.
Yeah, right. Right.
So there you go. 95 between Sampler Road and Hillsborough Boulevard. Southbound, 13, count them, 13 of them.
Wow.
They're having a picnic out there.
Must be your lucky day, folks. 13 of them.
There you go.
Great.
Got to keep the stats up.
Yes, sir.
Neil, keep healing up, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
12:57 at WIOD. Starline's open. Star IOD. Oh, man, I feel so much better now. Look at this. I'm going to have to throw out all of that pastrami. There's like about a quarter of a pound there, and pastrami is not cheap, but, you know, you guys that make these sandwiches, it's not that we don't appreciate it, but it just isn't necessary to overdo the amount of meat. Too much meat is a killer, believe me. I think these guys over there must be from the John Holmes School of Sandwich Making or something. I mean, enough is enough. Let's use a little bit of moderation, okay? Hollywood.
How you doing, Neil?
Great.
I just want to say welcome back. And I cannot believe that Cubs are finally kicking some serious ass, not their own.
You know, the best thing that happened to the Cubs?
What's that?
Was when Sammy Sosa got hit on the hand with that pitch and fractured a bone in his hand. And yesterday, you notice how Doug DeCenzo ripped that great double in the gap and set up that big inning? And, you know, we finally got Sammy out of the lineup. That's the secret trick, is we got his ass out of there.
I can't believe they're only 3 out of, 500. I can't believe it.
Right.
You know, hey, they're kicking some serious butt.
Yeah.
And also, I wanted to say, Mike Disney and Borghieri and the management are both a bunch of assholes.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your perspicacious observations, sir. We have 3 open lines now as we approach that gigantic, dreaded 1 to 2 hour. 1 in Dade, 751 WIOD. Starline, if you got Bell South Mobility, please. I know it's Monday. I really apologize for putting the tremendous amount of pressure on the audience that I have today. I should have had enough common sense to come back. Like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, would have displayed a much greater amount of class on my part. I apologize. North Miami, hello.
How you doing, Neil? Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
I think I was in Mount Sinai. I think I had the same guy inside of me that you did over there.
Really?
Yeah. The surgeon?
The what?
Dr. Unger?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Mount Sinai. I had a couple operations. He operated on me.
Really?
Yep.
I'll be damned.
Well, I was wondering if the person who recommended him to you was a good friend or a not so good friend. I was wondering, how to rate him now.
That was Fat Rich.
Well, I don't know how to take that.
Fat Rich.
Okay, Neil.
The greatest... Okay, good luck to you, sir. You had nothing to say. Greatest Yenta in the world, Fat Rich. Piece of cake, no problem at all. Mr. Fat, Mr. X.
WIOD, the Neil Rogers Show.
Let me tell you something. The only thing bigger than the 1 to 2 hour is that Debbie Alice. Boy, is she a cow. Oh!
Dumb as you are, you forked out for Nirvana. You thought we're some big college band from Atlanta or someplace, well, sure, just like them. All our lyrics make no sense at all. Off the wall, mindless dreck. It's just verbal diarrhea. Diarrhea. Dumb as you are, my guitar, like Dwayne Eddy on lutes. Teenage dudes, major dudes. It's just verbal diarrhea.
Neil's got
Diarrhea. The joke's on you, 'cause we're not R.E.M. We're much dumber than them. No, we're not R.E.M.
Hey, man, how come you wear your face down around your knees like that? You can't even reach it. It's really stupid.
107 here at WIOD on a really stupid Monday, man, and we're just kind of enjoying it. I don't see any sign of Rick and Suds. Are they, like, in the building today? Because I did notice that on, was it last Friday they were in Mexico again? What is that? What is that all about? They're never here. And I see Ranieri is doing this Friday, going to be in the Bahamas again, plunging his brains out, drinking up a storm. Here's a lady in Plantation.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I'm glad you made it back in one piece.
Well, thanks so much, in at least a couple of pieces anyway.
Right. I can't believe the management in that place.
Huh.
That is disgusting.
Believe it. Believe it.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, they may not be good, but they're consistent. They're consistently indifferent toward anything.
God, that is... There's no excuse for that.
Now you understand. Now you understand when they had me doing the 9:30 to 10, and I said to them, it's too much stress, and I can't do this. And I'm just telling you, I'm trying to explain to you. You follow? They don't relate to that. They don't comprehend to anything on a.
They just want to use you.
Right. They do not comprehend to anything on a human level. They're not capable of doing it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Neil, you couldn't make enough money. Believe me.
Right.
Bunch of creeps.
Yeah.
Anyway, you mentioned before Confessions of a Medical Heretic.
Dr. Robert Mendelsohn.
Well, I was in the car driving home Saturday night, and I happened to have a radio accident, and I tuned into WIOD.
Well, I'm sure he wasn't on because he's been dead for a couple of... He was on, boy. That was a miracle.
Mitch Lewis, I guess it is.
Mitch Lewis
had this doctor on the
last hour
of their show. You have to get a tape of that show and listen to the last hour.
Who was it?
Some doctor from California who was saying exactly what you said verbatim, word for word.
Yeah.
That these medications that these doctors are prescribing are killing you.
They are.
And that you never have any reason to go to a hospital except if you're bleeding to death or you have a broken bone.
Right, emergency.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to go.
That hospitals are the worst place for sick people.
Anybody who walks in likely will be carried out.
Well, hopefully I'll never have the chance to go to a hospital or a doctor again.
Don't do it.
I'm not. You have to take care of yourself and just drink plenty of juice.
Did you see the thing on 60 Minutes last night?
No, I missed it.
They had a thing on 60 Minutes about the California Medical Board and about how they absolutely refuse to take away any doctor's license. And they had this one Dr. Boggs who has been convicted of murder and butchering up all these other people. And he's still got a license to practice, and his ass is in jail for murder.
I think doctors are the lowest form of life.
Yeah.
Some of them, most of them, I should say, are only out for the money. And their lifestyles, I mean, suck everything you can out of the public. I mean, the public is so stupid.
The public has been so brainwashed.
Brainwashed.
That's what Bob Mendelsohn used to write about. About it was like a temple when you go in and the doctor is wearing the white smock, just like the priest wears his outfit and the rabbi.
Exactly. It's just power that they wield over you, and people are so like
Dr.
they're
Sidney
silent.
Singer is the name. George was doing
Singer,
that show.
Dr. Singer.
He's the one I was on with Night Rhythms.
Excellent. I mean, I could have listened for hours. But everything you said, Neil, is so true.
And all these senior citizens down here who are hooked on like 75 different prescription drugs that are interacting with each other and got them all spaced out and got them. They got a pill to get up in the morning and a pill to go to bed at night and a pill to be able to sleep and a pill to be able to have a BM and a pill to be able to. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And most of the people just refuse to listen. They just want to go to the doctor, give them their money, let the doctor give them a prescription, come home, and oh, you know.
My advice is get a second opinion and a third opinion, and
Forget about opinions,
and then
Neil.
still be skeptical.
Stay away from doctors, period.
Right.
Like I said, the only reason to visit a hospital or a doctor is if you're bleeding to death or you have a broken bone.
Right, and if you weren't when you went in, you might be.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, have a
All
great
right,
day.
Neil, take care.
Good luck.
Right, you too.
11 after 1 at WIOD. We have an open line in the center square, 524 Doctor. WIOD. Pompano Harness racing 3 nights a week, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday through July 25th. Enjoy a schedule of live harness racing and some of North America's top races simulcast directly to Pompano Harness. By the way, we didn't have that race on, we had the race from Greenwood on Saturday in Toronto, which was a good one, with Western Hanover getting beat by Carlsbad Hanover, whatever that horse with Rod Allen. But also Saturday night at Hazel Park in Detroit, they had that Huguenot, what the hell is the name of that big $100,000 race? What a race that was. Arts Place held off Do Run Bluegrass by a neck in a track record 152. It was just incredible, which has nothing to do with anything. This Friday will be family night at Pompano Harness. Kids 17 and under are always welcome, admitted free to the grandstand with a parent. 50-cent hot dogs, soft drinks, and beer will be available at the concession stands throughout the grandstand. Enjoy an outdoor barbecue with chicken and ribs on the trackside level. Live musical entertainment will also be featured trackside level. Saturday night featured the simulcast of the $1 million North America Cup final from Greenwood Raceway in Toronto. And see this year's top 3-year-old pacers as they compete in Canada's richest harness race. It should be a great one. Also, Saturday night, you could win $1,000 cash. All you have to do is enter for a chance to win. Nothing to buy, no obligation, so be sure and be there Saturday or every night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And members of our WIOD Pompano Fan Racing Stable, be sure to use your horse owner's pass. Free clubhouse admission every racing night this summer right through July 25. Don't forget, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, Pompano Harness, post time 7:30. See you this weekend for sure. If somebody took a mallet and gave a big hock on your stomach, all of a sudden, a few days later, you'd be black and blue too. And if you were fat, it takes days for that to work its way through the layers of fat, is what he explained to me. I just showed Cheryl my beautiful black and blue side, and she said, yeah. See, maybe now you don't want the mandel bread, okay? Well, I'll get some more for you, okay? But I'll have to bring it over immediately. Well, it isn't yours anymore. I'll bring you the bag with your name on it, okay? No, she doesn't. Well, I'm sure she does now. She's listening. Oh, don't start laying a guilt trip on me, okay? All the food that I've had brought in special for you in this place, all the special orders I've had brought in for you. Yeah, right. You're full of crap. Don't start giving me a song and a dance about all your ex-husbands, will you? 1:15 at WIOD. What, you're not feeling well today? Why? What do you got? Anything exotic? Why don't you go over and see? He'll dispense some good stuff for you across the street. He'll give you like 75 different colored pills, one for each hour. Hello, doctor. You got a pill for me? Go over and get some tests. He'll take a few tests. 116. Oh, and I'm not going over there, by the way, okay? I'm not going nowhere. About what? No, I'm not taking anything back, okay? You haven't had enough husband? Oh, yeah, Eddie, are you married? We need to find out. Is it Eddie? Cheryl wants to know if Eddie is married. Now, that's an inside thing. I don't know who Eddie is, and I haven't seen him yet. I'll give you an opinion later after I see him. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I'm glad to hear you're back. I was on vacation and found out when I came back that you were in the hospital.
Yeah, well, I was only supposed to be there for a day or two at the most. This is a little, they give you a song and a dance. It's a very minor procedure. It's a piece of cake. They make the 4 little incisions. They snip it out. And a lot of people walk out. They go home the same day or the next day. But guess what? Not everybody's the same.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I had mine yanked out.
Yeah. You mean the old-fashioned way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not pleasant.
Well, my stones were too big to crush.
Yeah.
And so they had to take it out manually. So 10 days in the hospital.
10 days.
10
oh,
days.
I can't imagine that.
10 days.
I can't imagine that, and I can't imagine the bill either. That must be like $50,000 easy.
$17,732.
That's all? That's not much.
That was just the hospital.
Must be the low rent district.
Anyway, I still can't eat at Arnold's. It still kills me.
Really?
Drives me insane. I can't eat that. Can't eat pizza with cheese
Why?
on it. Drives my stomach crazy.
Well, how long ago was it out?
3 years ago, and they tell me I have post-gallbladder syndrome. That's only supposed to last up to 6 months after you've had it yanked out.
Yeah.
I'm working on 3 years, and I still have it.
Oh, man. Wouldn't that be something? After you have it out and then you still got problems with all that stuff?
That's right. The biggest thing is cinnamon. Can't eat anything with cinnamon.
I love cinnamon.
I do, too.
Yeah.
Can't eat cinnamon rolls. Can't eat anything with cinnamon in it. So don't be surprised if you don't have some problems, because they warned me before.
I haven't had it. Well, see, I'm so incoherent that I really don't know if I have problems eating things. I got to tell you a little thing. I don't want to sound like a hypochondriac, but, after you have something in your body that you're allergic to,
right,
until it gets out of your system, when you eat, even if the problem has subsided, when you eat, it starts like a chemical reaction in your body again, and the allergy starts up again. So on Wednesday, or whatever day it was, Wednesday night, I went through this horror with this penicillin I was allergic to, and the rash, and the screaming, scratching, and the hives. So the Thursday, it had subsided pretty well by lunchtime. I had lunch, and about 20 minutes after lunch, all of a sudden, it starts again.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this can't be happening to me. So I took a Benadryl. And by the way, Cheryl, thank you. Cheryl suggested I take a Benadryl. She had called me. Because Benadryl is for allergies, and I never even thought about it, and I love Benadryl. It works very well on me. So 20 minutes after, all the itching went away. 6 hours later, I have dinner Thursday night, and about a half hour after dinner, it comes back like the very first night, with a vengeance.
Well, the reason that it happens that way is it's really not a chemical reaction. Actually, when you eat, your body heat increases.
Yeah.
When your body heat increases to get rid of the food in your system, it also helps that allergic reaction that you've had to heat up again, and it causes
it's still in
the
your
hives
system.
Because it's still in your system.
So anyway, I took 2 Benadryl, and 20 minutes later, I was not only over the itching, but I was already in the sack and sleeping like a child. So I say hallelujah for Benadryl.
Well, anyway, I'm still suffering, Neil. I still have problems, and I still have the pottying problems. I run to the bathroom as soon as I've eaten something. Anything.
Are you serious?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, no.
Anything with roughage in it, I run to the bathroom as soon as I've eaten. No sooner it gets into my stomach.
We'll have Sonny send you some of that great cabbage soup. That'll keep you busy the rest of the week. Good luck.
I'll have the back door trots forever.
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Good luck. Bye-bye. Wow. Butchers! Murderers!
WIOD flashback. This was supposed to be spontaneous, guys. We don't need to hook up wireless mics and strap the bartenders down. Hold on just a second here.
Well, bartenders are busy, man.
Okay. Oh, we can hear you good, Marvin.
Hey, Marvin.
Okay, we got a shot of, tell them, a shot of Cuervo Gold.
Okay, now you need to get a shot of Kahlua. Not a shot, but a splash of Kahlua.
Un drinko especial.
Oh, translator.
That Miami Spanish goes a long way here, doesn't it?
Oh, man. Hey, make that 2 con drinkos.
Hear Rick and Suds this Monday afternoon on South Florida's news, traffic, and weather station, News Talk Radio 610 WIOD. The opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of 610 WIOD or its sponsors.
I have no foreskin. I took Halcyon for 3.5 years. There's 7 million people take Halcyon every day in America. And there was a night I was a zombie. I was walking around. I was so tired. Of course, you'd get no sleep when you come off Halcyon.
124 WIOD. That should explain why he looks that way. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yeah.
Doctor in the house.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to let you know that...
I think your phone needs the phone doctor.
The phone doctor?
The worst.
That's a payphone. What can I do?
Awful.
But I tell you, the hospital's the most helpless situation a person could be placed in.
True.
I had a leg operated on a while back, and they were wheeling me down to the operating room, and I was waiting in the hallway on the gurney, and they put me in the long operating room, and they started prepping me for heart surgery.
Uh-huh.
And
Not bad.
Tell you, and then come to find out, the person that's putting the IV in my arm was a student, and my arm was a regular pincushion. It took 5
Hey,
times.
listen, you got to learn somewhere.
Oh, man, I felt like a sprinkler.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, glad to have you back, and I'll tell you, those doctors and those hospitals, better to stay out on the street than be in there.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank you, pal. Have a great life. 125. What did I do with that article? I throw it out? Let me again, in case you missed the earlier part of the show, recommend in the Sun Sentinel on page 3A yesterday, reprinted from the New York Times news service, surgeons botch new technique is the headline. Complications arise from procedure to remove gallbladders. And the first paragraph says surgeons who rushed to use a new technique to remove gallbladders, that's laparoscopic surgery, which is what I had, without adequate training have botched many procedures. So I think a real good idea before the anesthesiologist sticks that needle into the IV would be to look up at the surgeon and say, by the way, how many of these have you done before? And if he kind of smiles and nervously laughs, oh, well, this is the first one, I would jump up off that table screaming and thrashing all that equipment around and just start stabbing people with needles and going crazy. You're like a prisoner. You're like a guinea pig. You're like a guinea pig in a laboratory. And you're lying there. The first thing they do is you go in, and they have a little cubicle, and you take off all your clothes, and you fold them all up and put them with all your possessions in a little plastic bag. And that bag kind of accompanies you around, like into the ground if necessary. And then you go in a little cubicle, and you put on this schmata. You put on this little ridiculous gown, wide open in the back. Don't drop the soap. And then you also put this little silly, it's like a shower cap on your head. Okay, and now you come out and you lay down on a table, and they put the little bag like at the end of the table. And you're lying there, and then they stick the IV into your wrist. And they start explaining to you, and the anesthesiologist, who, by the way, was a very nice girl, extremely nice. What do they call those? They're like trainees. What do they call those?
Interns?
No, not interns. There's whatever the hell they call them. They're like learning, okay? And then they had some other guy. Oh, yeah, we both listen to your show, and we love you. Now, this first thing we do...
Apprentice.
No, not apprentice. The sorcerer's apprentice, right. And this first injection we're going to give you, this first drug, this first powerful, mind-altering chemical we're going to give you is going to, help you forget what's going on now. Which, naturally, you can imagine right off the bat, they want you to forget everything. They don't want you to remember any of it just in case. Because you'll notice that the majority of the time, what seems to be just kind of overriding everything else, it's called covering your ass. That's what they want to do against malpractice, against lawsuits. And I want to say this to every doctor and everybody in that profession out there in the whole wide world. Don't bellyache to us about the malpractice insurance rates, because there's only one group of people that brought that on, and that's the butchers out there who are killing people every day. That's why. Like the guy in California who's in jail for murdering people and butchering everybody up, but still got a license to practice just in case he should break out.
A resident.
A resident, right, a resident. That's a very nice word, isn't it? A resident, which means amateur hour, hey, here, how do we do this? I don't know. Here's the van lady.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm so glad you survived.
Yes.
I was going to write a novel if you didn't. Murder at Mount Sinai.
It's I am serious. I could write not just a book, but an encyclopedia of books. I really could. I think I've covered most of the bases today, but every few minutes that goes by, I remember another little sordid chapter that I forgot to talk about.
Now, are you limited as your diet, or are you all right? You can eat anything now.
I can eat anything I want, but when you're diabetic, that doesn't mean all of a sudden you can go out and start getting fat and no.
No, I meant other than your diabetes.
I do know some fat people who use this operation as an excuse. I don't want to mention a certain fat friend by name, as an excuse to start shoveling it down again because they want to fill up that vacuum where the bladder used to be.
Yeah, well, if it weren't for Craig, no one would know anything. Craig Worthing.
Right. Thank God for Craig.
Yeah, really.
Can you believe he drove all the way down from Boca, schlepped me all the way down in the rain to Mount Sinai, sat in the waiting room with 100 90-year-old dead people in there, and waited for 20 minutes while they yanked my staples out.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
He is.
That, yeah. All right, well, I just wanted to welcome you back. I'm frantically going through my drawers looking for the card I bought you, but I can't find it.
Well, I thank you for the bag, whatever. What was in there last week? Oh, your skin so soft?
For the puppies.
And my tape back. That was very nice.
Well, it's nothing I could do for you. You do a lot for everybody.
Right. And by the way, if Sal is listening on my block, it would sure be nice to see that lawn mowed sometime this year. You see how my grass is?
I haven't been by since then, no.
Boy, it is like humongous.
Well, we've had all this rain.
It's growing like weeds.
All right, and Ross just sends his best. That's
Yeah, I'll bet he does.
Bye, Neil.
See ya. Oh, God, has she got a sense of humor today or what? 1:30, butch up, Ross, will you please, and stop being so damn insecure already. God, grow up. We have an open line in Broward, 524, and one on the out-of-town line, 1-800-944-WIOD. It sure would have been nice to have, like, some dessert or something today, you know? Too late now. Huh? It would have been nice to have something like that today. I see Can't Find the Remedy is wandering around out there. I don't want that kind of dessert, okay? I would like to be able to watch the ball game tonight. See if we can win another one, which would be a miracle. That would really... I don't have time to be doing the Green Apple Quick Step with those candies again, okay? God, that... I can't believe he did that to me. I just can't believe it. What a moron. What a yutz. Oh, here, somebody gave us this. Here, eat this, okay? Somebody, yeah, right. Everybody out there in the world is looking for something, okay? And these salespeople here, they're out there to give it to them. Where's that Plastic Man cart? Or are we still in limbo on that? Did they ever resolve that? It's just a joke, okay? Like I really care whether we're in limbo or not? North Miami Beach, hello? Hello? North Miami Beach is gone? Well, it's your loss, okay? It would have been a great call, believe me. Here's a lady in Kendall.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
I've been in and out of the car all morning, so I don't know if somebody's mentioned this before, but have you seen that William Hurt movie called The Doctor?
No.
Oh, you have to see it, Neil.
Well, it's making the rounds, isn't it?
It's on video. I saw it on video a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's about this real smart-ass doctor who is real flippant with his patients, and all of a sudden he's got a medical problem, and he has to go under the knife.
Good.
And we see how he's treated, and it's a real eye-opener.
Yeah.
So after what you've explained, you know, I think you would really get a kick out of seeing that.
You know, wouldn't you think that like a common-sense bedside manner would be to keep people as calm and as confident as possible without getting them hysterical about... I mean, in addition to which, before you undergo any kind of surgery, why is it that you have to sign all these consent forms and release forms, but they don't have to tell you anything? Right. They don't tell you about any of these possibilities, which is why when they start screaming in the hospital, you start panicking because nobody ever told you about this. And if you don't take deep breaths, you're going to get pneumonia, so you got to get up and walk around. Of course, if you get up and walk around, then you're going to, like, probably start bleeding inside. And then maybe you're going to have, like, pulmonary embolisms, and you're going to have blood clots in your lungs. Where does this all come from? I mean, nobody ever gives you a clue on these things can happen.
Well, what kills me is the way they treat you. Like six-year-olds, you have to have permission to go to the bathroom. You've got to wear those stupid clothes. Yeah. At the end of the movie, he's teaching a bunch of interns. And at the end of the movie, they have to get into the backless gowns and be patients and know how it feels like.
Well, Bob Mendelsohn used to say that that's one of the reasons they do that is to put you on the defensive and give them as much power over you as possible so that you feel like you're walking around almost stark naked all the time, and you do.
I've only been in the hospital for childbirth, so believe me, that was enough. I don't ever want to do that again. I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah.
Plus what they charge you, my God. That was an experience. I just, cross my fingers I'll never get an actual illness.
If they could have taken any more blood out of me, they could have filled up a bathtub. And here I got this one doctor who is absolutely hysterical. He's taking blood tests every 5 minutes to see if my blood count's going back up. Oh, how can your blood count go back up when they keep taking a quart of blood every 5 minutes?
Oh, it kills me. The last time I was in there, I had a baby, and I was already dismissed. It was the morning after. I was getting ready to leave, and the guy comes in to take blood. What do you need it for? I'm going home. Oh, well, we have to have it for our records.
Right, so we can get that one last charge on that bill.
That's right.
Okay.
They charge you up the nose.
Have a great day.
Go see that movie, Neil.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
134 at WIOD. We have an open line in Dade, 751. Out-of-town line, sitting there very quiet, Palm Beach. They don't care. They're a bunch of grave robbers up there. 1-800-944-WIOD.
Touch that dial. Coming up this afternoon at 2, it's Rick Riley and Suds Coleman. Join us then for Rick and Suds.
WIOD. And now, another innuendo-filled coffee moment
from Teaser's Choice.
Aren't you going to invite me in for some hot
coffee? Just give me a second. I have to put out some cups and saucers.
Teaser's Choice, the coffee that strings you along as it wires you up.
What an incredible set of china.
Could you give me a hand here with my cups?
My pleasure.
Cream?
Not yet.
Teaser's Choice. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna have to buy it.
21 till 2 at WIOD. I see Suds is in the building here for a rare guest appearance. Can't believe these guys are doing the show in the studio today. Quite a treat. Quite an honor. Plantation. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty long time here.
Well, hey, listen.
Do I get some compensation?
Time marches on.
Listen, I'd like to congratulate you on your successful operation.
Thank you so much.
I'm from New York. I haven't really heard about you. I've been listening to you daily. I'm very impressed. I'd like to know if you know if anything goes on like this in New York.
What?
You know if there's any radio shows like this in New York?
I sure hope not. Howard would be embarrassed.
Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you talking about these doctors all day. All they want is money. Your money, right?
Right.
That's all they want.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a great life.
Thank you.
Bye. Boy, I hate to say it, but I think he was like from New York, you know? We have an open line in Broward that's ringing as we speak. I mean, what was that call about? Was that like the guy who called in about Howard's member being, was that a true story when H. Ross Perot was on? Because I had a call at home from somebody I didn't want to hear from. I don't want to mention Barry Epstein, who has no business ever calling me at my house. But, and he said, oh, yeah, they did that thing live with H. Ross Perot, and the first call was about, Mr. Perot, would you consider having your brain merged with Howard Stern's penis or something like that? And it went on the air on national TV. Well, maybe that's what he meant when he said we're going to do. Maybe that's one of the things they're going to do. Going to move, and do. I'll tell you one thing. You take all three of these candidates and put them together in a barrel, and they all stink the same, okay? They make me nauseous, and if anybody thinks that I would waste 1 minute voting for any of these assholes, you're in a dream world. I saw Clinton this morning on CBS this morning. He makes Jimmy Carter look like a rocket scientist, only he's got that same, like, quaggle, you know, that same Aintree, Georgia quaggle. And I swear that he spent some time with Ned Beatty up in the woods. 141 at WIOD. Kendall.
Neil.
Yeah.
Is it true J.P. McCarthy's coming to QAM?
Yeah. Yeah, Dick Purton's coming to the Light Bulb to do mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you play the Sit-In on a Bus in Delray?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Wait a minute, what was that noise?
The PP.
Oh, the PP. Okay, hold on to it. That was the PP guy. 141. Yeah, I see this thing that Roger clipped out all this stuff from the papers from when I was out of commission. And I see that one hysterical thing about, again, is QAM going all sports, and they'll consider it before next pay. I mean, this has been the biggest joke in the market for how long now? Is what the hell are they going to do, and can they ever make up their mind, and does anybody care? And can they break a .3 on QAM? You guys over there are an industry joke. You're a joke. You can have the Marlins, you can have the Heat, you can have the Dolphins for our part. You can have whatever you want, and you still can't break a .5, okay? That's what kind of a station you are. God.
I have no foreskin.
My wife took the car to the mall. She drives my Buick and she's 3 feet tall. I wouldn't ride with her, no way. I said I'd meet her there later today. So I'm just sitting on a bench in Delray, waiting for the lolly bus to take me away. Boy, I'm just sitting on a bench in Delray with my friend Chaim. Looks like it's time to check my change, 'cause the bus fares don't always stay the same. I'm not gonna do what Yetta tells me to do. To drive at her age, she must be insane. Just sitting here resting my bones, wondering why my wife won't leave me alone. We've talked it over, but I never win. I just wind up schlepping through the mall again. Oi, so I sit on a bench in Del Rey, waiting for the lolly bus to take me away. Oi, I'm just sitting on a bench in Del Rey with my friend Chaim. And there he is. It's about damn time. I've been waiting here all damn day on this bench. Where the hell have you been? Hey, where the hell are you going? Come back, you schmuck!
I just would love to know what the hell went on here while I was gone. I'm just discovering all the slots in there for all the stuff that's sitting back here. They're all gone. And stuff that used to be there in the two, I've only got 2 rows left in that one rack. It's all gone. And then I'm noticing over here, there's carts back here, and I'm looking to put them back where they belong, and there's no slots for those. So even in Vegas, they never saw so many screwed up slots, okay? I don't know what's going on here, George. What the hell is going on? God almighty. I'm supposed to stay calm and relax, and I'm trying to put this stuff away. He's got like 75,000 carts out because this radio station can't bring some live human being in to put on the air when somebody is out sick. No, they got to bring away these stupid, idiotic, pathetic tapes, and they got to fill in all the blanks by playing these same carts 8 million times and destroying all of the material. And I want to say especially nice job to the sales department that's got some spots on here today, but couldn't even be bothered for a second to figure out what we were going to use for copy, okay? I mean, forget it. Don't bother them back there with copy, because God forbid that the talent should go on the air and do something that makes sense that somebody might want to pay money for, okay? God forbid that we actually follow through or we know what we're doing. We're too busy out there getting poison candy for the talent so they can go home and spend 25 hours on the throne and feel like the king, okay? I felt just like Elvis all day a week ago Thursday, man. I spent the whole day on the throne. Oh, singing Return to Sender. And I was singing about that candy, too, Remini, you idiot. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
I'm great.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Easy for you to say.
I've been listening all morning about you talking about hospitals.
Yeah.
But you were talking about a particular situation when you go to a hospital and, to do some sort of a surgical procedure, and you go there and you're admitted and everything. But God forbid that you get there on an emergency which is not noticeable. And what I mean is that I had to be taken. I drove myself to the hospital.
Right.
I was having a kidney stone.
Right.
Now, when you're passing a kidney stone...
Oh, I've heard it's the worst than having a baby, the worst thing in the world.
That's right. Now, I got to, I was having cold sweats and everything, but, I drove myself to the hospital because I didn't want it to get in an ambulance.
Right.
So I got to the hospital, and, when you get to the emergency room...
Unless you're bleeding to death, you're going to sit there and wait till hell freezes over.
That's right. So, this lady said to me, okay, have a seat.
Yeah.
So I said, lady, I'm not going to have a seat.
Right.
Because, if you don't take me in and you give me some Demerol, some morphine, or whatever it is, I'm going to go into a hysterical frenzy, and I'm going to break this goddamn emergency room
Good
down.
for you. That's the way to do it.
And, well, they did it. But, afterwards, I was laying down, half naked, as you said, on a stretcher in the emergency room, and I was just, curled up with pain,
yeah.
And nobody paid attention to me for about half an hour.
Yeah.
So...
Well, sir, we certainly commiserate with you. He said he was feeling like crap, okay? Didn't say crap, but I get the message, okay? We can't say crap on the air, sir, because we live in a juvenile fascist state where words are like weapons, okay? So we have to keep bleeping stuff out and act like a bunch of children. But that's America for you, okay, sir? And I agree with you. I agree with what you said, sir, and I'm glad that you have the courage to stand up for yourself. That's what people ought to do. People are so worried that, they're going to think I was a pain in the ass. Well, what the hell do you care? Are you there for a social event, or are you there to save your life? So they are full of, how do you like that? That's what I say. And they do make you feel like, exactly, sir, you're right on target, and amen, and good luck to you. Don't ever let them do it again.
News Talk Radio 610, WIOD.
News Talk Radio 610, WIOD.
One moment, please. What are we doing? Did I miss something? What just happened? Are we on the air? Well, what happened? Did I miss
You were talking.
I was talking what? I was talking to her when the thing played? Well, I didn't hear it. We're busy trying to figure out what's going on in sales, okay? That could take till midnight in about 6 months from now. See, one thing I do want to say, we can rip the individual salespeople, but of course they're clones. They're like from a cookie cutter, and they're all taught by the same incompetent we-know-nothings back there in the sales department who've been screwing things up for like 500 years, who, if they live to be 25,000 years old, will still know nothing about copy, about servicing, about getting things right, who don't want to be bothered. Oh, the first day back, and he's starting up again. You hear that? Starting up again. Right. We're supposed to sit in here and make magic for these people who are spending. We're in a goddamn depression, and these people are spending these hard-earned dollars because here at WIOD, with our huge, loyal, faithful audience that follows us around by the nose, okay? And we're supposed to make magic, but don't give us any information. Don't let the guys on the air have any idea what's going on. Then we can blame them. Oh, they screwed up in there. Wasn't us. We're too busy in one of our 45 meetings today. We couldn't have possibly, we didn't have time to screw up. Yeah. Anna Perez.
Hi, Neil.
Anna, how are you?
Back from the hospital like you are.
What happened?
Well, I had to go for a little something, but I was at the other end of town. You were at Mount Sinai.
Yeah.
And I was at South Miami, so welcome back.
How'd you make out?
Fine. Thank
Good.
God, fine. How did you make out? I understand that you almost passed away over there.
I'm alive still. It's a major miracle.
Yes, thank God.
They're going to put a big plaque on the wall there, the Neil Rogers Blood Bank. It's going to be great.
I'm glad. I'm so happy for you.
In fact, even the V8 cans are all filled up with what used to be my blood now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I called you to welcome back and to tell you that we were both the same week in the hospital suffering from the needles and all that.
Great minds and bodies work alike, Anna.
You better believe it.
Take care of yourself.
Take care, Neil.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. How about that? 155 at WIO. You see, the people that used to work here, they care about me, okay? The ones that are working here now, I could drop dead. But the ones that used to work here, like Anna Perez, they care. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello? Hello? The lady in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of impatient women on here today. A lot of impatient people who obviously have very, very active schedules today. Coral Springs.
Hey, this is Dr. Clark.
Yeah, I bet.
I think you need to...
Yeah, I think you need a hemorrhoidectomy, okay, sir? Like in the brain, you idiot. Had to wait like 3.5 hours to get his act back again, okay? Oh, God, give me a break. Miami, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
So you had a laparoscopy, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, you know, my wife had that a couple of years ago, and they said it was going to be a piece of cake, 45 minutes. You had...
It was a piece of that,
yeah, right.
Okay, not cake.
She had some adhesions and...
adhesions?
Adhesions. And, well, you know, laparoscopy, for those of you out there that don't know, laparoscopy are little instruments, and it follows by a little video camera that people look up in a little screen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while everybody was looking up, the doctor had put one of the little instruments on top of her belly. And one of those just burned the hell out of her.
Oh, geez.
Put a goddamn hole in her belly.
Oh.
Which, you know...
Yeah, because after they make the incisions and they yank the gallbladder out, they stick that little instrument you're talking about in there, and they sear it. They like, what do they call that? When they,
Cauterize
it
shut, yeah.
Well, right, because what they do first...
Like a branding iron.
Well, the first thing they do is they cut the little first hole, and they view everything that goes on in there.
Right.
Then they go in and they start cutting and cauterizing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most of those instruments work through foot pedals. And while
they work through foot pedals? What if they got a nervous foot? What if somebody starts playing music and they start tapping their foot like Manavani?
That's the same thing that happened to her. While everybody was looking down, nobody was really, paying attention to what the doctor was doing.
Nice.
And that's, it's like, oh, who's barbecuing in here? You know, we smell burnt meat.
Lunchtime.
And there
Who's
you go.
got the ribs?
Anyway.
So
all right, Neil.
So what happened?
So she got burnt. She had to have plastic surgery after that.
Did you sue their ass?
We sued more than their ass. The doctor, the hospital, everybody and their mother. I mean, that's what I call, suing for
a good reason.
Really, really good reason.
Yeah.
Because here we have a...
So how did you make out?
Well, we ended up very good. oh!
Yeah.
You know,
strike one up for the good guys.
That's what lawsuits are all about. I mean,
right.
I don't believe in suing for the hell of it.
No.
But when they really screw up,
Amen.
Let
them have it.
Get something for that.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, these PR people are like this Eddie Morgan, who's like a nice guy, but a washed-up vaudeville singer or something from the Catskills over at Mount. Seriously, he is. When he first walked in the room, I thought to myself, that guy looks like a washed-up vaudeville guy. And as time went on, as he started telling me more and more stories, sucking around in desperation, he finally told me that once upon a time he used to sing in the Catskills, and I thought, boy, did I have this guy pegged or what? So anyway, I kept thinking, maybe they all kept leaving me their cards with their phone numbers and if anything's wrong. And I kept thinking about calling him and saying, do the words massive lawsuit suggest anything to you, Eddie? Does that bring anything to mind in terms of letting me out of here and saving my life? It was just, I know people think I'm exaggerating. I have news for you. I'm not even scraping the surface. I'm not even scraping the gallbladder at this point. Not even scraping the edges. And there's always another thing, too, when they get you hysterical and the doctor's going, I think you're bleeding to death, stuff like that, little things. You don't know what's going on inside. You follow what I'm saying? In other words, you know that every time you move, it hurts. And you know that every time you, belch, you're like farting inside from all the gas, from the anesthesia and all the other crap that they pumped you full of and the chemicals. You have no idea. And that's why as the week progressed and I began to grow this 55-foot black and blue, dark, horrendous thing all over my body, I began to wonder, maybe there just might be something wrong here, huh? Yeah, possible. But don't panic. So I'm going to go home and take a whole handful of that Augmentin and see if I can just turn into like a gigantic itch, huh? And speaking of that, Chuck Meyer, who's broken out in a big sweat now because he feels the thunder of the Cubs coming from the rear, man. He just feels us approaching. Chuck's got the 2 o'clock news. We got Rick and Suds from 2 to 6 this afternoon in the studio. And I understand they got some serious Green Apple Quick Step from over the weekend. So that...